This may be the final time we sit down to play Ace Attorney. Until the next one or something, I don't know.
This may be the final day of your life, you don't know.
Well,
Well, it's not a threat, I'm just saying something that everyone knows on a regular basis.
in a
You never know what's
way.
going to happen. Yeah, I guess.
My God, what a record we've reached. It's 2:20 p.m. How will we ever get home in time for the shows?
Yeah, this is probably...
We're still in court at 2 p.m.
It's almost like the latest we've been in a courtroom.
Because it's like we're on like part 3 of one day, which is like next level. Still shorter than that one investigation sequence we had. That was like the second one. That was like 3 weeks of us playing this game.
Yeah.
We're like, where do I go? Now then. Will the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, please take the stand?
I'm hyped.
I feel like maybe they'll surprise me. I feel like there's no stakes. I feel like we've talked about this before, but like I feel like all the motivation she had to not tell the truth is gone. So she might as well just fucking just tell us, like, and then the chief of police is just fucked, and then in the end, like, we already know what happened, basically.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to go.
Is there any more twist to have?
I can't imagine the game just, like, letting it be so simple, but at the same time, I can't imagine any other, like you said, any other motivation she would have to not just tell the truth at this point.
Like, how are they gonna draw this out further when it feels like this is over, basically?
No. Actually, no, we know the stakes, because her sister will get accused of murder if she tells the truth, remember?
Yeah, that was the weird thing, is the chief of police was like, remember, I'll make sure she's convicted for the thing, and it's like, but that's already been revealed. Like, she's gonna get prosecuted no matter what at this point, to whatever extent that she's guilty, which I'm not sure, because I don't know how this universe works.
Like I said before, I thought the whole point was like, I just don't want her to know that she killed someone because it'll affect her, like, the way she feels about herself the rest of her life. Like, I thought that was the motivation, and then when he said that, I was like, oh, she can get in trouble for this, because that's definitely an accident.
So, I assumed she was just shielding her from it so she didn't know, but now she knows, so that's irreversibly true, and she can't escape that. So at that point, I feel like her motivation is gone.
Apparently she can still get arrested for it.
And also, what power does he have? Like, if he gets, like, if he gets put away, then, like, who cares? Like, what his threats were? He's gone. Like, bye-bye.
Yeah, but if that's how the world works, then she might just go to jail anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I also don't know what the laws are. I'm like, for all I know, the fucking, like, trolley problem is punishable by death in this universe. Like, oh, he made the wrong choice in the trolley problem according to our society, I guess. So, like, I don't know how guilt works. Maybe like every single form of, like, not even negligent, but just like accidental manslaughter that you don't even know happened is like punishable by death.
Then every action in the trolley problem would lead to for you getting in trouble. You being involved in the trolley problem means you're going to jail.
It's like if you simply trip on the sidewalk and fall kind of towards traffic, and someone like goes like and swerves a bit and then like runs over a dog, like now both the driver and the person who fell over are both like executed. Like, I don't know the laws of this universe, so I don't have a basis to refer to. I don't know what the stakes are for that. But I think either way, the info's already out.
I think Lana's reaction is going to determine how much of a threat this actually is to her sister.
Yeah. Miss Lana Skye, you are the chief prosecutor.
Yes.
I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you.
Yes. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years.
Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth.
Of course, the truth. Lana, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. You don't get to choose that. Technically, yeah.
Sisterhood revoked. Taking my card back.
You should go downstairs and tell your brother that. You should be like, no matter what happens, I'll always be your brother. And then he'll tell you to fuck off.
Yes.
Yes.
Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. For Gant to get got.
Get got, Gant.
Gant and the fabrication.
I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to this blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
God damn it.
Lana, what the fuck?
All right, time to beat her.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene.
Lana's the final boss.
Lana, why?
Unnecessarily.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. Oh, what a fucking liar.
Yeah, that's so
Lana,
clearly
why?
not true.
You made this way more complicated than it has to be.
Are you sure about this testimony?
Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course, I'm sure. But Lana...
If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this.
That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me.
But what if she's telling the truth?
She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside.
She speaks other words?
I was gonna say, I've been voicing her stiffly this entire time because that to me
That's
is
because
like...
she's been hiding things since before we met her.
Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. So I should voice her screaming in agony.
But deep down.
Yeah, like I'll add a little screaming voice after everything I say.
Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. Bum bum.
I worked alongside Gant for years.
No,
you didn't.
How many years exactly?
Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see. I was 24 then. Oh, my heart. I've done nothing. So that would be 5 years. She's 29.
Detective Gant and Detective Sky were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been good, coming from the same school as Mia.
Damon Gant was a respectable detective. That's why. There's no truth to this blackmail theory.
It still feels like they made her because they regret killing Mia immediately. So they just made another Mia.
They both have like an air of clarity to them. Like I like looking at Lana a lot because I like her cool jacket, first of all.
Yeah.
But secondly, like her face has like an air of like she's very I just imagine her being very, I don't know, being very articulate and confident and not verbose. She just says what she needs to say.
Efficient.
Efficient, there we go. That's the word I want.
Like a knife.
Exacting.
Exacting.
Yes.
An X-Acto knife. So it was one of the funniest weird tool names. But think about it, Miss Sky. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail.
You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? I like her stern face, too. Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And...
She turns away whenever she lies.
Yeah.
Or misleads. Because she's not lying. She did stab him with a knife.
But she's
intentionally saying it in an incorrect way. Like, where it's misleading.
Trying to cope with her own, like, lying. Her own, bending of truth. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
Did you do so to help your sister?
Joe Dark was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. Yeah, so she is telling the truth, but she's just not saying what she needs to say.
Yeah. She's editing. Mm-hmm. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. Apparently that's how it works in this universe.
So it does exist.
You do exist. M&M's commercial? Do you remember that? With Santa Claus?
Yeah, they like replay a lot of M&M commercials to this day. Because they're good. They ain't broke.
She wouldn't have charged with anything. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. I did it.
That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lana?
So that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago.
When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene.
You say you did this all by yourself?
Yes.
Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene?
It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken Prosecutor Award knife was stuck in the victim's body.
That's not in the picture either. There's so many knives! And turned out the real murder weapon wasn't even a knife, it was a halberd. Although I think they're called the one on the shield a halberd too, even though it's...
So they did call it that, yeah.
It's confusing.
I don't know the difference, to be honest.
I learned weapons from video games, admittedly. But going by both Dark Souls and Dynasty Warriors, a halberd is spear-like, not a knife.
You know, I think I do know. I did think I did know that from Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. All the halberd users.
Yeah, halberd. Yeah.
On horseback and stuff. It's not a knife. Like, this is weird. What?
Well, they're talking to American kids.
But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident.
That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement.
Wow, you're gonna be annoying for about 2 hours, aren't you?
She's so commanding. I love her.
You mean Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Dark?
Something like that.
If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? Dark was carrying a switchblade knife.
Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle.
That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies.
Like a lies band-aid.
A lies band-aid.
All just
This band-aid's made of lies.
All just to protect me.
So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to.
Yes. I broke off the tip of Dark's knife, planted it inside the wound, then moved the body.
Why?
Why did you do
That's fucking bizarre.
that? Yeah, there's no...
Almost like you're awkwardly making up an explanation based on other people's stories that you have to conform everything to. How do you break off the tip of a knife and plant it? You broke off the knife and planted it in the body? But why? Why would you do that?
You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders.
Hey, can the dialogue never auto-proceed foranother, please?
It's funny because it only does it sometimes.
Yeah, please never do it again.
It just surprises you.
It does it randomly every 5 minutes, just like once. It's like, fuck you, stop. What if I looked away from the DS for a second? Like, what's the, like...
Yeah, what
purpose does it serve?
What if your mom told you to go to bed, and you said, Mom, I'm playing Phoenix Wright, and then you look back down, and then you're like what happened?
Why does the screen look different? I don't know what that's supposed to serve. It's not like there's some big complex animation happening on screen that has to sync up with the dialogue. It's like, they're just emoting, which they always do.
Well, sometimes in in video games...
Sometimes the sound effect plays at the beginning, and that's it.
Sometimes in video games, like they'll force you to look at cutscenes from like specific angles because they have like a directorial like view of how the cutscene's supposed to play, and so it'll just like run almost like a movie scene, which I think is like, I understand that they're trying to convey something to you. They don't want you to interrupt it with your stupid like gameplay, you know? They want to show you something.
Actual real cutscenes.
This isn't a game that has that, so them doing something without you makes no sense.
My head isn't that bad, but maybe I ought to ask for the sake of others.
Yeah, because she said that Edgeworth has a good head on his shoulders, but she said nothing about you.
Ha ha ha.
Why did you plant the knife? I'm more curious about. Oh, actually, both those. I'm curious to see how she's gonna make up why she did these things, because it
kind
makes
of a
no
standout
sense.
detail.
I don't know.
The knife is the weirdest one because I have so many questions about the
bizarreness
of the knife.
You break off the piece of the knife, you just poke it in there with your finger. Like, how did you do this? Did she use the other knife to push the other piece of the knife in? Why'd she do this?
Why would you break out the tip of the knife and plant it inside the wound? Also, how is this? What Garbo knife is this? That was like breaking in people.
It's like a plastic knife used to spread butter on
like
toast.
People were doing it's the Spork murders of 1969. The Sporks exist in the 60s. I went too far back.
It sounds to me like something that was invented in wartime. So I feel like
if you wanted to frame him for murder, which like even what? Okay, so one issue is in her version where she shows up and Emma is totally not the killer, but she for some reason still needs to frame the guy for murder. Like in her story, who the hell killed him? Since if he apparently has to make it look like he did it, which implies someone else did it. There's no other people. But even aside from that, why wouldn't you just, if you're framing him and you already have a knife wound and you need, I want to frame him using his personal knife. Why wouldn't you just stab him with his knife?
Yeah, with his, yeah.
Just take out the stupid trophy knife and stab him with the incriminating knife, and then that's the new knife in the wound. Instead, she seemingly broke the tip off of one knife, stuck it inside the wound, then put the other knife back in. Like this is insane behavior. So I'm like, what's up with the knife, lady? What's going on here exactly?
And her as a chief prosecutor should be aware that you can definitely tell which knife stabs someone even if you stick a different edge of a different knife in a knife wound.
I don't know. She tried that trick twice.
Yeah,
she
you're
did it
right.
Again now.
You're right.
But why did you do that?
Come now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Oh, she's not going to give us answers. She's going to imply that we're stupid for not understanding and then never give us an actual answer.
Very well. Let's add this to the witness's testimony.
That's funny.
The reason Miss Skye fabricated the knife.
I knew the tip of the weapon found buried in his body would be all the proof we needed.
According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? There's so many broken knives in this narrative.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Fucking confusing.
Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body.
So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound.
You sick fuck. Yes. Because I hated Dark for what he did. Yeah, what a morbid thing to do.
In all versions of this narrative, she's desecrating the corpse of one of her coworkers.
Yeah, of someone she knows personally.
Yeah.
My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer?
How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period.
Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence?
She's lying. She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened. In any case, as a prosecutor, what I've done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying.
Looks like she's determined to protect you to the end. From yourself. Even though you already definitely know about the thing, so it's like, why? She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself.
There's no way she could have done it alone.
I've got to get Lana to talk more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction.
I worked alongside Gant for years.
So now we need to pick the contradiction out.
I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
There's no truth. I mean, I don't know how we'd prove that she wasn't able to do it by herself.
All by
myself. Don't wanna be.
How did you break off the tip?
Yeah, I want to know that, but there's no way we can ask that because we have to present evidence, right? So it's like, no person should be able to just do that. It's not like breaking off a Kit Kat. Evidence for something, but what? It doesn't say not gonna show anymore. It doesn't say like keep this to yourself.
That was here.
Oh, is it?
Oh, new dialogue.
This is a handprint, right?
Yeah. Someone left behind an oil stain on the fabric. Whoever it was, they must have had a really oily hand.
Ew. Mr. Wright, think about it scientifically.
Huh?
A more likely explanation is the person slipped and fell on a freshly waxed floor. Getting wax all over their hand.
Well, that would account for the amount of oil, I guess. I don't see what's so scientific about it, though.
It happens, you know. I always slip on floors at school after they're waxed. Oh, she falls a lot.
You're a murderer! You did a murder! I wonder if we're supposed to go like, this has nothing to do with Emma and contradict it with that specifically.
See, because so the description did change, because it did say, I guess I'll keep this to myself for now.
It said that, but it said that before
we presented it.
The reason I was checking is because he used to always say that in the dialogue when I clicked on my hand.
Well, no, but it said it here too.
Emma's here. Did it?
Said it, yeah, it said, I'll keep this to myself. That was like the last sentence of this piece of cloth description, and now it says something different. It says evidence for something, but what? It didn't say that before.
Hello, murder man. Can we just convict the statue of murder? Yeah, like it's a halberd. Like you see that it's got like that one fuzzy fringe that they often have on spears.
I don't know what the purpose of that would be.
I don't know what that is exactly.
Just scare you into submission as it's flying towards you.
Just a spear style. Not sure.
It actually might be for projectile, like in the same way that
it might
like,
stabilize it when you throw it.
Yeah, like the ends of bows.
Yeah, the end of an arrow.
Or arrows, not bows. Yeah, the ends of arrows have those.
Boom, boom,
do. It had nothing to do with Emma. No, I think you needed to show the handprint because it had nothing to do with Emma as the statement you're contradicting.
Nothing to do with Emma, you say? Because they wouldn't let us use this before. They're like, it must be too early to use this evidence, which was weird, like omission shit. Fuck. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence.
Generic statement.
It does? I don't say anything contradictory. Huh? Really? Objection overruled. Try to think before you make accusations, Mr. Wright.
I take away 500 life points.
10 points from Gryffindor.
I'll attack your life points directly. I always thought that was funny. I'm gonna surpass all your monsters and just attack you as a human being.
Yep, that seems fair.
The tip of the weapon buried in his body would be all the proof we needed. What do the pieces of the knife say in your inventory? Did they say anything that would imply that they were useful in this situation? I don't know what they would.
Knife.
One in the little plastic bag.
Switchblade knife. But it's referring to the first crime scene.
What does the one in the plastic bag say to you? Because you have the one in the end of it. Right. Oh, you know what happened to that piece?
I don't think it's ever been in our evidence.
Oh yeah, it was just shown to us, huh?
Which makes perfect sense.
That's dumb.
It's like they hit the item limit. They can't have a fourth page.
Maybe.
What's an imaginary plastic bag, huh? Man, we disregarded no evidence in this case. So we've actually gotten rid of evidence before, but this time it's like, nope, 3 pages. It's all relevant somehow.
Yeah, you still have the blue badger.
It had nothing to do with Emma, you said.
You could do that. I mean, once again, it's like, I don't know why one would work and the other one wouldn't. They both are like tied to Emma specifically, but you can give it a shot. Sad. Piercing heart lung. Died from blood loss in under 10 minutes. Weapon found in wound was missing tip. Found in wound was missing tip. Wait. So there what? Wait, what? The weapon found in the wound was missing a tip, so the tip wasn't in his body? See, if I had the piece of fragment to look at, it would tell me if it was found in his body or not. Which is why it should be a part of our evidence.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the context for the missing tip and where it was found. This is the evidence list and we can't read it. Great.
I know!
Where was the tip found?
Well, you think in that autopsy report it should say weapon was... Oh, wait, no, it does say knife tip was in the wound. The autopsy report should say that.
Well, yeah, I was like, I felt like I saw that already, and I was like, where is it?
It should
where did
say
I find that?
Weapon...
It's not in the report, it's only on the description of the report, which
Tip
is weird.
also in the wound. They should imply that it was like in the same spot together. It says the weapon was found in the wound, though. I don't know if that's just me, like, looking into this a little bit too much. But it's weird to me that she had to put... The weapon was found in there. Why did she have to put the tip in there, too? I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird that she seems to have just... She seems to have decided to replace the knife in the wound with a more incriminating knife. But then has this bizarre extra step where she breaks the tip and puts the tip in first and then the rest of the knife in.
As opposed to just, like...
As opposed to just putting the knife in.
whole knife in.
Yeah, like... What a bizarre step to make, let alone the confusingness of, like, how did you break the knife?
Well, but here's the thing, right? That's
not a common skill.
The halberd on the statue is automatically missing the tip. Oh, dude, I'm getting so confused with all these different knives.
Yeah. The halberd statue has the tip. That one's fine.
Well, no, I mean, but the one on the actual trophy is missing the tip no matter what. Because it's a part of the statue. Which one was he actually stabbed with?
You mean the trophy?
Trophy, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, there's a statue, so you can't keep calling the trophy a statue because there is a statue.
Oh, but I'm calling the armor and the statue. Which one was he actually stabbed with?
In reality, he was stabbed by the armored statue with
it was Emma,
which actually has a halberd. Yeah, Emma pushed him into that.
Yeah, so we got that.
But the claim here by Lana is that he was stabbed by the quote-unquote halberd that's on the trophy, and then she switched it out with the killer's knife.
There would be no tip. Okay, so just out with the killer's knife, which is a third knife. Okay, I understand.
Yeah, there's three knives at play in this one case, not counting Edward's knife from the other case or the shaving knife from the other case.
Once again,
gonna have a fucking meltdown. So the idea is she took out the other knife and then she put in the new knife, and then she broke the tip off of it for reasons that are really unclear. It's just a weird thing to do. And there's also, coincidentally, there's two knives at play that have broken tips in the same case.
I'm just wondering if that has anything to do with
losing my mind. And there's also two separate instances of people replacing a knife with another knife in the case. And then Lana did both of those.
It's getting a little convoluted. And there's also two mufflers. There's two mufflers. And there's two crime scenes. And there's two Goodmans.
Yep.
One's real and one's fake.
And there's two power outage elevators in back-to-back cases.
There's two Blue Badgers. One of them is actually a
daddy villain.
Yeah, another daddy villain. Always a daddy villain.
This writer might have very specific tropes that they lean on. God, what is it we're supposed to do? Why would you do this?
I don't know. I'm feeling weird about the. I don't.
You planted the knife and then moved the body? Why'd you do that in that order? Why don't you move the body first? Move the body? Where'd you find the body?
Why did she even feel the need to move the body? If it had nothing to do with Emma, if it had nothing to do with Emma.
Because she apparently found the knocked out Joe Dark and just laid Marshall's body on top of him.
I don't understand why that is.
It's hard to say why she would do that.
Well, because she has no reason, because she's making all this up.
Yeah, well, she did. Well, no, she did have a reason, but in the real version, Which is that she's trying to hide Emma's accident by taking him off the statue.
Well, yeah, but her reasons don't make sense.
Yeah, we have like nothing to go on. Why would you put the tip in? Like, I'd be worried about it falling out or whatever. Like, I'd want to place the evidence after you move the body. But I don't know how the fuck you'd argue that.
You just jostle it back out by shaking them too much. Just
well, like
clink.
you're dragging a body around, all that musculature and whatever the fuck's like moving as you like probably like grabbing the arms and like pulling the body. Like as the poses move, the whole back is kind of like having the muscles move around. It's like that's probably bad for the knife staying where you want it to be.
I'm pretty positive they'd be able to look at a dead body and figure out that you moved it just by like all the yankings you do on the arms and stuff.
The bodies are heavy.
They are.
He was probably heavier than you are.
They call it dead weight for a reason.
Ha 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 ha. It's a screwdriver. Why can't we just spray luminol on the fucking statue spear to see if it still has blood on it?
We still haven't brought up the fact that the, I mean, I don't know if it's ever going to come up exactly, but like the fact that the halberd was removed from the statue after this event. I mean, I'm assuming it's because it was in bad taste, but it's like, was there a specific reason why Gant felt the need to do that?
It's not even in bad taste because according to their narrative, it wasn't the murder weapon.
Yeah, that's true. But he obviously had some specific reason for not including it anymore.
Yeah. But like it's like it weirdly like reveals their cover up.
It says 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 years ago. Yeah, so it was like right after this incident.
Maybe it's supposed to be the end of a spear, and that's why it's called a halberd.
I don't know. We'll look into knife theory.
Yeah. Because otherwise it's like a short sword, because that's way too big for like a knife.
I will consult Deadliest Warrior and have them explain to me the difference between a halberd and anything else.
I'm
using ballistic gel.
I'm kind of stuck.
Me too. I feel like it has something to do with the knives. There's something wrong with the knives. They're gonna be like, oh, like, where did you get the point of this knife? Or like, once again, how did you break it off? We can't talk about that. It's gonna be like, how was he ever stabbed with the one from the statue anyway? I don't understand that at all.
There's a few gaps we could poke at. Like, I'm curious, like, this feels like it's open, like you're meant to fuck with it. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself.
I just don't know how you're gonna be able to argue.
So it's like, is there any confirmation I can make that there was somebody there?
I don't think you can.
Like, haha, you couldn't carry him. He's big boy. Like, I don't know. What is this list of evidence? Tell me what's on it. Damn it. Tell me what's on the evidence. I don't know. Let's trial and error it a little bit. Emma had nothing to do with it. Let's try the other one, because I never actually tried this yet.
The vase.
It just seemed like a bad call. Oh. No. The slam means nothing.
It slapped his face on every vase.
It's a false confidence.
Every vase. Dude, Mr. Wright, blah, 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 blah. I killed a person
Determined
once.
to protect
Oops.
you until the end.
Oh no, oops, I killed somebody.
You didn't work alongside him for years. I've got all this evidence that you were born yesterday.
One of my dad's expressions is you think I just fell off the turnip truck?
There's no truth to this blackmail theory. Then why did he keep this shit in his safe?
I know, that's a very easy thing to say, you would think, but no.
Maybe.
Did you just pick the same one again?
Yeah, but in response to there's no blackmail.
Oh wait, here. Oh.
The witness's statement is clearly faulty, Your Honor. We got a different error message. I can see nothing faulty.
It's still generic.
Unfortunately, I will have to penalize you, Mr. Wright. We're gonna get a game over.
Something I
did that in the blackmail theory response. I was like, haha, no truth in this blackmail theory. How about all this blackmail material in his safe? It's like, apparently that's not a lead. Alright, fuck. Damn it. Yesterday we were so on the wavelength of whatever the fuck the game wanted from us, and now
I know we were on top of it.
Yeah, I super don't have it today. It's hit and miss. Like, what am I trying to contradict?
I get the impression, so we're gonna figure it out, right? But I get the impression that we're gonna be like, why would we have thought of that? It's gonna be something like not obvious. It's not gonna be like a face palm moment.
Why
It's gonna
don't
be
you
like
break off the tip of the knife.
It's
Why would you do that?
Something to do with the knife. It's something like.
We're gonna get game over. This is how we lose this game, but the stakes are pretty low. Just load my game and things will be fine. Would be all the proof we needed.
Well, I think it just means like to
all by
convict
myself.
him. No, I don't. I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it because I think it just means like the people who are trying to get him convicted, include like her group of people. I don't think she. I think this event she's saying she did singularly, but she was doing it for the group of we.
Death sentence.
I'm calling these like generic names. I wonder if these are real people.
Jeb
Bates.
Edith Kirby. Edward Jones. A lot of victims. Rachel Moss just sounds like an actress.
I was gonna, you know, it's funny. I was
like, do I know a Rachel Moss?
Rachel Moss. Kate Moss.
Elizabeth Moss. Witnesses Emma Skye and Lana Skye. Why are you listed as a witness? What's the deal with that shit?
I don't know. I don't know, man.
Kill me. Well, I guess she's guilty. Fuck it. There goes those 3 days.
I'm hungry. I need to go eat lunch.
That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. The defense has failed to give the court sufficient reason to doubt the prosecution's claim. This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Skye, dead as fuck, yo. The accused will surrender to the court immediately, to be held pending trial at the higher court within a month of today's date. That is all. This court is adjourned.
I like how they imply it would be with a higher court, as if like she still has a chance.
Like
so
this isn't even done yet.
Yeah.
More shit happens apparently.
Yeah. What the hell else is gonna happen?
Do boo do boo do. Why'd you move the body?
Yeah, we could do that.
When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body?
It was where you deduced it was, by Chief Gantz's desk.
But the body was found by your desk.
Why would you move it?
Weirdo. Because there's no streaks of blood or anything. Why did you move it? Why did you move it there?
The reason for that is simple.
Let's have the witness explain this in more detail.
She was going to. There was like an ellipsis, and then you interrupted her, Judge.
No, well, both cases, we then get to the testimony screen where she adds it to her testimony.
And I just think it's funny that, like,
yeah.
It was because...
The reason Miss Skye moved the body.
And, like, the judge yells. The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan.
Say what? Pieces of jar, you mean...
Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier.
Wretched.
In order to show that Dark committed the crime, I felt it would be more expedient to move the body.
Expedient.
Expedia.com.
So, when you first found the body, the jar was already...
Of course, it had been shattered to pieces. If you looked at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Dark was lying unconscious.
Why are they showing us this? This is supposed to be her testimony where this didn't happen. Why are they showing this scene right now? It contradicts her narrative completely. It's like, this is not a correct thing to show during her testimony.
Yeah, that is weird. So she's not arguing, she's arguing that he was like...
He just was dead over there.
Yeah, but she didn't say whether or not she found him on the statue. She's just saying that Emma had nothing to do with it, right?
Well, no, she's saying she didn't find him on the statue because the statue narrative involves Emma's death.
Or Emma's murder.
Yeah, so she specifically said that the trophy knife was sticking out of him. So he was dead at Gant's desk with the trophy knife sticking out of him, and she replaced it with Dark's knife and moved the body.
Okay, yeah, she did say that.
Because if it's the death by statue, then that reinforces Emma's narrative that gets Emma...
Once again, to make this much more simple, she could have just argued that in their own tussle, the two men against themselves, that he got shoved into the into the armor.
Yeah, it was completely possible.
Yeah.
Now we have this version where apparently they fought over by Lana's desk, which I think is closer to the exit, and he knocked out Dark, but also got stabbed, and then for some reason crawled over to Gant's desk to die. Which is nowhere near where Dark's body was found.
Because he had so much respect for him. He wanted to be next to Gant's desk when he died.
He had to die on sacred ground. It's like season 1 of American Horror Story. That's the murder house where people's spirits will get captured by this house and they live on forever haunting it. So there's like some characters throughout the season that like try to get across like the threshold when they're dying because otherwise they'll just go away. Like they want to live on forever in the house.
I don't know why you'd want that.
Because their friends are there.
Because they're friends. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle.
I see. I see, is the voice.
I see.
Said the blind man.
My grandpa loves that joke.
Wow.
What?
Canceled.
What?
Grandma deleted. No, I don't know. I just said wow. I was
see.
like, how do I reinforce this wow?
I see and see, said the blind man to his deaf and dumb wife. That's what my grandpa always says. And I said,
isn't there supposed to be like a pissing in the wind aspect or something? Or I've heard like longer and longer versions of that one, but they keep adding more, and I don't know which parts are real anymore.
I'd say, Grandpa, that's stupid. He'd say, you know, it's funny because he can't see, so he's not being literal. But then also, she's deaf and dumb anyway, so it's not as if she could hear him or she'd understand even if she could. I say, Grandpa, that's kind of funny, but you said that like 30 times today, so...
And also you explained the whole thing.
And you explained it, yes.
When everyone got it already.
That happens when nobody laughs. Someone explains a joke.
It's like, no, we get it. It's just...
not funny.
We're still disappointed in you.
No, like, no one could ever say that to their grandpa. No one ever say that to your grandpa.
No, you just feel it.
You just, yeah.
On the inside.
Just go, aw.
The silence is what explains it.
Grandpa voted for Trump. Aw.
What's the matter, Emma?
Apparently the jar shattered at the time the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there is more to it than that.
There must be a contradiction here somewhere.
Anyway, I committed this fabrication completely alone. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma.
I wonder if we literally couldn't solve it before.
Yeah, maybe
what if we needed this to be available?
How do they do that to us?
That's not very nice.
That isn't very nice at all. You can't even go back.
Shattered during the events of threatened by my plan. But like, yeah, like didn't... It had writing, it had her name written on it.
So jar that shattered during the events.
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. I wonder if there's an alternate thing you could do to fix the other one.
There has to be, right?
Or if it really, or was it really a dead end, like death sentence? What if I had saved in there? That would have been bad. Thankfully, I have several saves.
I don't think that they could do that to you.
They can't. Oh, so many games can completely fuck you. And in this case, you might have had to play the entire game again from scratch for dozens of hours, maybe. Unless there's a way to like restart the trial.
And this is like one of those games where it's so much dialogue, you wouldn't be able to just blow through it. You'd have to like sit there and push A million times.
I think there might be like it might have not been there before, but yeah, there's like auto skip.
Yeah, but I mean, still, it'd take you forever to get back to where you were.
I was afraid to use skip because I don't want to accidentally skip stuff that matters. And it's somewhat unclear from game to game how it's implemented. Mm-hmm. Well, this isn't a visual novel where you like have to replay branches of the narrative, so the auto skip's kind of not that useful the way that it is in other games where it's like, all right, let's get all the way back to that part because I gotta make this choice this time because this is one of the games that is smart enough to have an auto skip but not smart enough to have a tree that lets you just skip around on the tree, which would be way more easy.
Yeah, get good video games.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ.
What?
I'm just thinking about how we did 999 and Zero Escape, and people who played 999 in the original version, which we didn't play, didn't have a tree to skip around on. They had to start the game over. And on top of all the dialogue you have to re-skip through, the game features multiple escape rooms, because that's one of the core conceits. So you'd have to replay those escape rooms each time you went down that path again. You'd have to solve all the puzzles again.
So, yeah, so it didn't let you,
which, even going fast, I feel like might take half an hour.
It wouldn't let you, like, Life is Strange it, where you can go back to your last decision and choose a different decision?
Yeah, because in Life is Strange, you could rewind, like, 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
But in Zero Escape, there's literally a diagram of all of the story branches, and you can skip to any individual scene manually. But in 999, in its first PSP or whatever launch, I think it didn't have anything. You just have to start the game over, and I'm like, oh, that's agony. what a complete just disrespect for the player's time. They're just like, yeah, now start over again and press the button a lot. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I'm compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony.
A contradiction in my testimony?
Lay gasp.
Excuse me?
This is the most shocked her face ever gets.
It's just kind of like, oh my.
She's like one of those people, like she never ugly cries. She only gets like the serene Native American single tear cry. Oh. Like, because her face can barely move.
She got that Botox.
She's infinitely stoic. Like, to a point where it's like, it's concerning.
So it's whenever she turns around, she's like ugly sobbing. She just doesn't let you see it. She has like snot running.
She goes full Oni mask. Her face completely worse.
I love anime that has like really ugly faces in it. It always makes me laugh.
You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan."
That's right.
Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood.
Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments.
Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies.
Excuse me?
In order for the victim to be able to write this message on the jar, it must not yet have been broken before he died.
Oh, that's true.
Were you not caught up?
No, I guess it makes sense.
I was like, did you not get what the contradiction is that I was pointing out? Because I was like, oh, it's the jar. Yeah. It was just Emma written on it, so it couldn't have been broken yet. He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. Full spiral eye.
I love the spiral eyes. Makes him look like a hawk.
Order. Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regards to this jar and its bloody message.
Are you British now, Edgeworth? That's bloody well right.
That's bloody message. We may be missing something critical here.
Would you try?
Yeah, the name of the murderer written in blood.
Would you try blood pudding?
Blood pudding?
Yeah.
I don't like that sound at all.
Well, I mean, that's a real thing.
Why are they ruining? Why do the British ruin everything? We got blood pudding and meat pies.
I want to try that.
My pies are full of meat instead of apples, the good stuff.
Keith likes his desserts, so I don't think he would like. And you like pie a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I like. And
you like apple pie, especially.
Yeah, I like apple pie a lot. Like,
yeah, they just ruined that for you.
More than most desserts.
They have eel pies
Why?
in Britain
Why do that?
because it was
I was so let down when I was
a hearty
found out
and
about
healthy
that,
meal.
when I was watching Sweeney Todd and found out the best pies in London were full of meat.
human meat.
And then it gets worse over the course of the movie. You're like, oh no, the best pies in London have a scandalous secret, and it's not that they're not apple. They have a double scandal.
I think I don't eat meat anyway, but my brother likes like those chicken pot pies, and I'm like, gosh dang, those look so disgusting. You put the vegetables and the meat all in there together in like a baked crust. That's disgusting.
Yeah,
I'm not down for that.
it's just sort of like a weird chunky soupy thing.
Cutting open a pie and finding green peas inside.
It's it's not that far divorced from like the concept of clam chowder, I guess.
In a bowl.
When you have a bread bowl. It's just that kind of concept. It's like, these are things you eat with like breaded type stuff, so let's just make it a thing together, like a pastry.
I guess so.
Like a pizza pocket. But for chicken.
or for human beings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially all the ones you want to make disappear. Like Joe Dark, who was baked into a pie moments after execution.
Where is that Phoenix Wright case?
The meat pies episode?
Where's the cannibal?
I mean, you never know.
I want a cannibal cafe.
Maybe somebody got eaten.
Phoenix Wright case.
Maybe we'll have a person who got eaten case eventually.
I would love that.
Something critical. Chief prosecutor, it seems you're in the dark
As in the Joe
are.
Dark.
Joe Dark. I died in the dark.
That's a stretch, Keith. Keep reading your
That's
dialogue.
not that much of a stretch. He literally died. He died in the dark. There was a power outage. He died in the darkness, and his name's Joe Dark. Most of these names mean something. I don't think Gant's name meaning glove means anything.
He died in
because he has nothing to do with the glove part of this.
But I love that part too much.
The only part of this trial he had nothing to do with was the glove part.
That makes me...
Which was a complete waste of time.
I was really hoping he was going to have something to do with that.
Usually day one's a waste of time. That's when it was extra plot twisting. It was like, what if day two was a waste of time? And also was the longest part of the case?
This game's a giant
like, why is this investigation sequence so hard? Because we're investigating a not murder.
This game's just trolling you, Keith. That's all. It's a...
All that painstaking video footage we had to go through was for a murder that didn't happen. It was all a waste of time.
This is a game for masochists. With a lot of time.
About the truth towards which we're headed.
What?
Done.
Don't.
Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. Message in blood. Alright, well, now that we caught you lying, please fabricate a new story, apparently.
She's so determined.
We'll pretend we didn't remember the first one, I guess.
Well, I mean, it happens all the time. People get caught in like really blatant lies. Like, well, oh, wait, actually, I forgot something. And then they'll start over again. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
She already fucked up.
Because she didn't get them all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, she fucked up fast.
So I think the reason why I was confused earlier is because it seems like that one fragment's so big that I thought it just said M on it entirely.
No, it just says part of an E and part of an M.
Yeah.
'Cause he wrote big, apparently.
Well,
like, this seems to be a big vase.
Good thing her name wasn't like Persephone or something.
Mildred.
Yes. Emma's pretty easy, you know.
Mississippi.
If I murder someone, they're going to try to write Stephanie on there, and that's going to take them a long time. Or maybe like, what if it's a name that they can't spell? They're like, oh fuck, how do I spell it?
If you spell it wrong, she gets off free. That's how crime works.
Yeah, they find someone else with that spelling, and they're like, you. But I spell Stephanie with an F, not with a PH. And then...
No one does that.
Dude, do you know how many times I go to Starbucks? People write Gwen Stefani on my cup. They just write
If I saw Stephanie where
S-T-F-A-N-I.
spelled with an F, I would assume it was written in crayon by somebody that doesn't know how to spell Stephanie.
I get S-T-F-F-A-N-Y. I get S-T-E-F-A-N-I. I get S-T-E-P-H-A-I-N-E, which always confuses the fuck out of me.
Stephanie.
Stephane.
Stephanie is pronounced by Tommy Wiseau.
Stephane. Or Christopher Walken.
Stephanie.
Stephanie.
It's K-E-A-T-H. That's about it.
K-E-A. Oh man, I don't like that at all.
That's the only one that is technically a correct spelling that I see sometimes. Because K-I-E-T-H is just you being bad at grammar.
I spell it K-E-E-F or J-A-R-R-O-D.
Nobody spells Jared that way. J-E-R-O-D.
J-A-R-R-O-D.
J-Rod.
You know, the only Jared I've ever known is spelled it that way.
Oh.
I guess it's J-A-R-E-D, huh?
Yeah, it's J-A-R-E-D.
Damn, I forgot.
That one's like spelled like hero or whatever.
J-A-R-R-O-D. Yeah, Jared.
I hate it.
Sorry to the Jareds out there. I just screwed up your name spelling.
J-A-Y-R-I-D.
Maybe you just...
Just the most written in crayon ass spelling of Jared.
The most annoying
Jared.
Jared on the face of the earth. I'm gonna name my kid Jared, but he's gonna be an extra annoying Jared. I'm gonna make him that Jared.
It's like all the different spellings of unique.
Yeah.
It's like there's so many of them registered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? It's just yelling downstairs right now.
So there's an ominous laugh coming from down the stairs. It's like that. What was that? What game is it that has that laugh? Oh my gosh. That's a Final Fantasy, right?
Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
They're fake laughing on purpose, so it's the scene's taken out of context a lot.
I know, but it's still good.
It is hilarious.
It's still good. It's about the posing, you know?
Because this bad, sad stuff was happening. And so, like, she was trying to...
Is it the Joker? Is he?
So Titus, Titus was trying to cheer up.
Titus, it's not Titus.
Yes, I found this out like 10 years later. His name is pronounced Titus.
Oh my gosh! And it's spelled T-E-D-U-S.
It's spelled T-I-D-U-S.
Oh my god!
Which is not how you spell Titus technically, because it's spelled with a T.
Yeah, but I would still say it.
Yeah, I thought it was Titus because as a 10-year-old, I was like, oh, I was like Christopher Titus. Also, I'm pretty sure it's spelled with a D because it's like the Tide, because he played a water sports game, and also by the end of the game, I think he might be a wave or something. So I think that's why his name is Titus, like Tide. So it's even a little more confusing when like all the official sources seem to pronounce his name as Titus. But it's hard to say because the name itself is
Titus. You just teat.
It was old JRPGs, so you could name your protagonist back then. So that meant that no one ever said it in the entire game, even though the game was fully voiced. So you know how to pronounce every character's name except the protagonist, because they can never say his name all game, because you could change it to anything. Which was really awkward, because he's missing in the second game, because it was the first Final Fantasy that I know of they made a sequel to, called 10-2. And so there's it's like a Charlie's Angels style thing where two of the female protagonists from the first game and one new one that they made up are all like, and they're practically like in like a Charlie's Angels style like spy agency, it feels like, and they're trying to track down where Titus went and bring him back and so on because she misses him. But they have to keep calling him.
Oh, because like they don't know what you named him.
They can't say his name in the entire game. So there's cutscenes where it shows like a silhouette of him, and then Yuna goes like, "It's him," and it sounds like people like freaking out about Lubu and Dynasty Warriors. Like, it's such awkwardly voiced shit. But anyway, in the original game, something sad, like they were in a sad part of the chapter, which is most of them, and they're like up on a cliff somewhere, and he's trying to cheer Yuna up. So he's like, "Come on, just laugh with me," and then he starts doing the dumb fake laugh and everything, and then she does it with him too, and it's like, and then they start actually laughing by the end, and that's the whole thing. So it's basically the equivalent of those moments where I just like fuck with you with a stupid laugh, and then both of us start actually laughing, but happening in like a stilted recording voice thing. Do you hear that?
What?
What is this weird audio is going through our headphones right now?
Are you losing your mind, Keith? Because I can't fucking
I don't know
hear.
what that was. Well, we're connected to one set of headphones right now. They're connected to each other, so like you might have like maybe it was like sliding on your blanket or something. I don't know. I was hearing like a staticky noise. I was like, "What is this?" Ugh. For those who don't know, because we're just in this tangent mode now.
Yeah, sorry guys.
We're using headphones that are connected to each other via Y splitter, which has the weird effect that if you like just like tap the other microphone, or like one of the go-tos is to have the two earbuds like knock against each other, you actually hear it travel through the cable, not as a signal but as a physical sound, and you can hear it in the other headset. It's really weird. I
scare Keith sometimes.
It's like the old
I'm reckless.
It's like the like two cups on a rope thing. She overcame her fear of my bed.
She's accepted the ghost.
We've been in here for like a few hours, and so far Kiki has been afraid of my bed. She usually jumps up on bed and sleeps there, but I've had a bunch of laundry with a sheet over it.
So we thought that she was afraid of
because I've been doing
ominous
laundry.
shape on the bed.
Yeah, like she seemed to be afraid of the bed because of the lump.
Like she thinks there's a secret person under there she doesn't know yet.
Anyway, now that we've explained laughs and also 12 other things.
Well, I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time, Keith. She didn't think Dark was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence.
Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination.
You know what's weird about this chapter is they're not playing music half the time. Like in this section specifically, because I think we're supposed to be taking it really seriously.
Yeah.
So, but usually there's always like background like...
Well, I think we did an interruption.
And
sometimes when you do the correct objection, the music cuts out.
Yeah,
and then often comes back when you start the testimony right now.
Well, I know, but
I'm a genius.
You're all right, Keith. But a lot of you're very smart. You're very smart, Pat. But no, I think this section has a lot of areas where they're not playing like music, because I think it's like the final showdown. So
maybe. I don't know. I feel like the same tropes have been applied as usual.
I don't
structurally.
know. Maybe I just feel it.
It might just be our choice of timing for tangents.
I don't think so.
Being in deathly silent moments.
We just like to hear ourselves talk. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar.
So the jar was already broken?
It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. Yeah, honestly, look at it.
It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case.
Gosh, biases.
Whoa.
Don't sway the jury that way, Judge.
I've been trying really hard here. But not as feeble as the judge's judgment. Oh, well, then we're fucked.
Not as feeble as your bones, old man.
We're pretty fucked. It's not even a jury.
I'll meet you out back, old man.
You're not as feeble as your bones.
As feeble as your old bones.
You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces?
Normally I would have, but it was dark.
But there was a power outage.
But it was dark in the room, and I didn't have time to check it out.
So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar?
No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust.
Damn. But this really kills your narrative that this has nothing to do with your sister.
Well,
because even in her testimony, we're acknowledging it now.
So obviously she didn't even know that Gant had that piece in his safe then.
Apparently. He was just holding on to it in case. Well, that helps my case. Yes.
Lana, you do that for me? Why are you looking at Phoenix when you're saying that?
Because she doesn't have that many poses.
Yeah, I guess so.
It seems you two might make up yet. In jail, together, both convicted of murder. It's like, she's like, all the evidence against Emma's already out there, so Lana's just insisting on going to jail with her at this rate, if that is the risk.
Well, I mean,
it's not.
But Phoenix said that.
Yeah,
it was defendable.
But
so
my joke.
But your joke
works that way.
Like the end of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
The last episode where they're all in the jail cell together, which would never be something that would be allowed at a normal jail.
Yeah.
I was like,
jails
got me.
aren't, among other things, like jails aren't co-ed, are they?
No, that's the biggest thing. That's that one, but then also it's like they wouldn't just let them like hang out in jail and just have a fun ass time. I'd watch Seinfeld from jail.
Well, there's like a holding area, right? Where sometimes you just have to like just throw people in.
Yeah, but I think the implication is that they're still going to be buddy, jokey friends in jail, or at least that's what they want you to feel.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, you guys are all getting separated.
I'm always amused by shows that end on the note of just like, these people are garbage, and here's their comeuppance. Roll credits. End season 12. Goodbye forever.
That was the biggest one, because they had every single person they wronged show up in a courtroom all together and just be like, remember that time that you fucked me over and messed up my soup business and yada yada, and you got me deported and like this and that.
It's like a Mad Lib. You can just plug in random words, and they, at that point, I'm like, it'd be a believable crime.
As they're rolling through it, you're like, wow, yeah, they actually kind of fucked over a lot of people. And they're like, yeah, you guys go to jail for being bad people.
Yeah, remember that time you hid money in my dog's ass? Kramer!
I mean, I could see that. I'd watch that episode. It's fine. Just don't do that to my dog, okay? Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was.
If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry.
I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came.
This is rather shocking. Almost like it's a lie.
To be safe, I wiped away the blood.
I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Dark killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood.
What else could I have done in that situation? Lana, I only had a few moments.
Listen, Lana, you're embarrassing yourself at this point. Like, come on.
I know, just
Jesus Christ.
There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. Nuh-uh.
You didn't say the magic word. But how could you see with the power out? It must have been pitch black in the office.
A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. It's called a phone.
Well, then there goes.
It's called a smartphone, Lana.
They didn't have smartphones.
I know. I'm just teasing.
I think, but she was just talking about how it's so dark she couldn't do stuff. Like she couldn't read the text. But now she's like, I have a light.
Yeah, so it's
in
like
the same testimony.
Even I carry a bottle of emergency luminol wherever I go.
That's not related to what she just said.
That also isn't nearly as practical.
You've also never used it before.
One of those things will get used a lot more than the other.
Yeah, she admitted she never used luminol before, but also Lana's thing didn't relate to luminol. You couldn't use those things to look at luminol anyway.
No.
Emma just wants to feel included.
Pat.
Like, she just thrives on attention.
Look at me. Buy me more jewelry. Buy me more jewelry. Look at me. Look at me.
Is that Warriors of Virtue? Yeah. Anyway.
Anyways, I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Nuh-uh. Think again. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered.
So you illegally rearranged the crime scene?
Yes. I don't have any excuse for my actions. I'm so sorry, Lana. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time.
It's not too late. It's never too late.
Oh, gosh.
I had to listen to that.
Early 2000s,
I had to
right?
listen to that booming through my wall for like a year.
Not too late. It's never too late.
My brother loved that album too much.
If I walked downstairs and sing it right now, he'll sing it with me.
Yes, he would.
I know.
You would bond over it.
Oh, no, we've done that before. I'm saying this from past experience.
Oh. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gotten to the bottom of this incident, which we've already solved, like we're just making her say it. She sucks. No doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office.
More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony.
Your sister's really putting up a fight.
She needs to stop.
She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way, especially since you already know. Everyone already knows.
I don't know what hill she's dying on. Why is she dying on
Yeah, no,
hill?
this is like, unless there better be like a fucking crazy twist coming up, because I feel like this game's like this case already blew its load, and now they're just like just wasting our time for 2 hours. Like this entire third chunk of court doesn't feel like it's gonna matter at all,
No.
and we're just like, Lana's just wasting our time, and it doesn't even make that much sense. So I'm just kind of annoyed.
No, I understand.
I'm like,
I feel the same way.
Just end. We already solved the case. It's over.
Just lay down.
Why is this happening?
Just lay down and die.
There better be something crazy coming up to explain this nonsense. I think I finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony.
We got you,
We've
Phoenix.
always known.
We've already done it.
Like, since we already know the truth, everything that she says that's a lie is incredibly obvious. In most of these cases, we don't already have the entire case solved at this stage. So we're like, oh man, how do we poke a hole in this? Oh, what a reveal! And it's like, she's not revealing anything. We know the answer.
Damn straight we do.
There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. We know the answer already, Phoenix.
Oh.
Yeah, that's just repeating.
Oh, yeah.
Time to update my save. Before we just fuck up this meter. Blood on the drawer. It was dark in the room, but I didn't have time to check it out, except she has a light. How do you... Instead of proposing evidence, can I just circle one of the things she says, then point at the other things she said in the same testimony and be like, ha!
You just like, you pull out a whiteboard and you just like writing everything she says, and you look at the jury and you're like, look at this, and now look at this.
Yeah. Let's see, the thing is that
I'm sure I got them all.
She said you got them all.
Yeah, right.
Super did it. Because it was in his thing. Miss Sky, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of.
What?
We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe.
Once again, not the piece we found. In the chief's safe. But how?
I knew it. She really didn't know. Even though everyone in this room knows.
I thought she
was in the room, honestly. I can't tell.
Well, I also thought she knew only because Gant was blackmailing her this whole time, but apparently he didn't even pull out the big guns yet.
I don't think he wait.
He was gonna hold it in case he needed to, at least.
Yeah, like, well, that's definitely why that's why he would keep the evidence, but well, you would think he would let, like, she'd have to know that he had something on her.
Well, no, she did, because remember they talked about how in the last case they were like, oh,
but did she just take it on?
Gant called you and told you to move a body, and you did. It's like, there's no fucking reason you do that.
So did she just take it as his word for it that he totally had stuff on her, but they never found out what the blackmail was?
Yeah, at least take pictures of it. Be
Weird.
Like, I have this.
There's something even more disturbing about the final piece. There was still blood on it. But the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off of them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. So remember when he said that she's talking about the broken knife tip and said, like, that would be all that we need. I think Gant helped her frame Joe Dark. I think Gant was there.
Well,
which makes sense, because Gant would have been chasing after Joe Dark. I mean, chasing after Marshall. So, like,
well, I think
it doesn't make sense for her to have so much time to fuck up the entire crime scene before Gant arrives, between Marshall and Gant arriving, which they both left at the same time.
I figured we already were under the assumption that Gant helped her do all this anyway. Like, I never didn't think that. I just know she's acting like he didn't.
Yeah. Which leaves us with only one explanation.
And it's also how he would have gotten the fragment. Yeah, because, like,
Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up at the scene. Chief Gant got there before you.
Yeah, because he pocketed a couple things, you know?
Yeah. It also doesn't make any sense for her to get there first. They were literally chasing him. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece? Nope, because he took a piece and put it in his He picked up the piece, then he got his evil face, and then he put it in his safe.
He's got a few evil faces, I think.
It's specifically the head tilted to the side, adjusting your tie. Face. Yeah. He did that face and was like, I'm putting this in here as blackmail. I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective.
It was like the biggest piece, too.
Ace detective. Oh, wait, no, Ace Attorney was what I was thinking.
Oh my gosh.
I thought they said the title for a second there. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe that?
Please retire.
Please retire.
Please retire.
Have you forgotten, Your Honor? When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. So Gant arrived first, took the one piece, hid it away, then broke the jar, and then helped her cover up the murder, but not really. Because she had all the shit. See, that's the one I was talking about where his mouth looks too long. He's got kind of a fish mouth. Like, it kind of keeps going for a little too far, and you're like, huh?
I think it works. I like it. He's making a very, like, sour face. He looks kind of dreamy.
So dreamy, Edge.
Dreamy.
It's a shame you're definitely gay.
Well, that's fine. It works for my fan fiction better that way.
I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant. At the time, he was looking for Dark downstairs. Besides, even if he was there... Alright. Goodbye to that. The question is, if he really did arrive first, why did he hide that fact for 2 years? For blackmail material. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Apparently you're on trial now. I don't know why this is happening sometimes.
He takes the skin off and a Skeksis climbs out.
Please? Gelfling?
Wait, I'm not the one on trial here.
That'd be funny. I want to, oh my gosh, I want a case where he's on trial. Please, please.
Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. I mean, I assume that everyone gets on trial at some point.
I know, but
we've already been on trial.
He's such a dolt.
He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question. What is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. Why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lana Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Lending her this aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Dark, sparing Emma. And therein lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became the Chief's puppet.
Oh, ouch. All right.
Very, very aggressive blood sugar test.
She's like, tastes appropriate.
That was a lot of blood. It's too much. That was distressing.
Maybe she's the
I
masochist.
didn't like that.
No. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. Is this a new one? No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone.
We've seen this pose once yesterday.
I like this pose. Determined face. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients.
You're my client.
Well, don't you guys also make up foul lies to persecute people? Prosecutor over there?
She did.
Yeah.
Foul lies. Imagine that coming from my own client. We have a hilarious and disobedient client that just doesn't want to be represented. Yet somehow she can't get rid of us, apparently.
I'm pretty sure legally she would be able to, but...
Yeah, I'm a little confused by that.
They make the game end really fast.
Yeah.
You just be like, oh, I don't want you, and then
Are
that'd be
you
it.
currently putting carbonated beer into your coffee?
I'm making it. No, it's. I'm making it's an Arnold Palmer kind of.
Oh, it's full of tea energy drink.
So
There's no coffee in there, right?
No.
Okay. I was like,
I'm not a
what
psychopath,
the fuck are you
okay?
doing putting Truly in a coffee? I've heard of like hard alcohol, but not a fucking Truly.
So it's
carbonated garbo drink.
I'm an idiot because I bought Trulies for like the third time because I don't like them, but I want to like them because they're convenient.
Because they have like no calories or whatever.
Well, I don't care about that
And,
part.
like, water.
It's because they're good mixers for other things, you know. But it's like, oh, this one's a lemonade type, and I really like lemonade, so I was like, I will give this a shot. It freaking sucks. I don't like Trulies. End of discussion. I don't like hard seltzers. Not a good thing.
Even I could like bite the bullet and drink Truly at random just because it's a nothing. It's just a nothing.
Well, this one's a lemonade seltzer, and I'm like, I like lemonade, so I'll
like
give it a
lemonade.
shot. But
I was just so confused because you're holding a coffee mug and you're just pouring Truly into it. I'm like, what are you doing?
if I was gonna mix something into my coffee, it'd be like Bailey's or something.
Yeah.
But the idea is I don't like this tea that I bought at the dollar store. It's turmeric tea.
You don't like any of the things you
and
have,
I don't
so
like
you're
the
mixing
Truly.
all the things you
So
don't
I'm putting
like
them together
to hope that you like whatever comes out.
because I don't waste anything, so I have to get through it.
Yeah, that's me and my fucking nectar drinks that I still have from before
I
Halloween.
hate those. Why?
I just bought a case of them once, and now I'm just slowly. I don't like how they're like.
They're like syrupy.
It's not. They're not syrupy. They have like a. There's a grime to it. There's like a vague, sandy, chalky chewableness to the texture. That's like. Ugh.
Have you looked at how much sugar is in those?
No.
That's probably like what you're chewing on.
Just solid sugar.
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely would just prefer to have the fruit V8s, which are good.
I was gonna say just
those
drink.
nectar things are not great.
Either just drink fruit juice.
I do buy a lot of fruit juice.
Yeah, I don't get what the point of the nectar thing is. I think nectar is just fruit juice with a bunch of added sugar in it.
I don't know. I just picked up a case randomly one day. Anyway, I was just very distracted, but I was like, blah blah blah, Phoenix Wright. Then I just saw an incredibly distressing visual out of the corner of my eye.
Pouring Truly into my coffee.
I had to interrogate it.
Someone drank all the coffee and didn't replace the pot, so I'm like, I guess I'll drink this tea then. That's how this happened.
That was me. I did it.
You did it? Keith, you monster.
Do you always brew an entire new stuff every time you finish it?
Yeah.
Oh.
The only exception.
I always think, because what time of day is it appropriate to do that? Like, I'm like, it's already like 8 p.m. Why would I brew a new pot?
It was like 6.
And it's also like empty all the time when I get to it, so definitely other people don't do that either.
The only time I do that is if when I leave in the morning, I'll take coffee. And if it's the last bit, I don't make another one because then you guys drink cold coffee anyway. I usually leave it like 4.
I figure people prefer a new pot, so they would just make a new one if they want it, if it's empty, because then they get to get fresh coffee.
I'll drink coffee from the previous night. So whatever coffee's made the previous night, I will drink in the morning. And I take the last of it, and then usually someone else gets up and makes a fresh pot. Or I make a fresh pot if there's none.
Fresh pots? I just make it if I need it and there's not any. And then if it's
I drink
empty,
cold
then I'm
coffee like a weirdo. I'll drink the old and the weird coffee. And I'll make all you guys fresh coffee because I love you.
The final part's the worst because not only is it cold, it's like 50% grounds.
See, I drink that because I'm the weirdo who suffers.
That's when I have to wash out my mug afterwards because the whole bottom of it looks like mud. Because it's just like this weird, gross soil at the bottom.
I'm Lana taking a bullet for all you guys. I drink the gross end of the coffee for you, and then I make you all fresh pots.
Fresh pots?
Fresh pots?
I guess you do seem like the type to twist the truth.
Excuse me?
Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap?
Trap card.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lana, maybe right after all. What do you mean, Wright?
So you do tell foul lies then, Mr. Wright?
Miss Sky, Please testify once more.
Okay, it's gonna be that Emma didn't kill anyone.
Is there a twist?
I was thinking about this whole time. They're gonna pull an Edgeworth.
Is the reveal that Gant framed Emma for murder?
Yes. Because here, my thought process is that they're like, I had
How
some
did
feeling.
Marshall paint the name Emma? One, it's like a weirdly spiteful thing to do, but also like it's from his back wound.
I don't know how,
Because he died on a stick.
but yeah, I don't know. I don't know
How did he reach the face?
But they're going to pull an Edgeworth. The same thing I said about Edgeworth, where it's like they're not going to have a main character be a person that kills someone even accidentally, because they'll have that sad backstory,
Yeah.
and they're not going to do that to a main character because that's how anime works.
So we're gonna
they
find
always
out,
they do this shit sometimes.
So we're totally gonna find out that Gant.
You either have a
framed
tragic
Emma.
backstory and you have it, or you're an innocent character and they won't let that happen to you.
And Emma's just dumb and suggestible. So she once we brought up this idea, she was like, "Wow, yeah, that is what happened. I remember now." And it's just like she made false memories.
Emma, you idiot.
You idiot, Emma.
But
we believed you because you literally said you did it.
and that also makes Lana like not as much of a liar.
Yeah. Even though she still believes everything she's saying.
Well, I mean, Lana's
'Cause
just.
she doesn't know that her sister was framed.
I think Lana's just adamant that Emma didn't kill. She just wants her to know, like, you didn't do it. I don't know if she knows what happened or not, but she just doesn't want Emma to think that she killed someone because she didn't. I don't know. Whatever. To my sister, who doesn't watch this anyway, if you kill someone, I'm just gonna tell you that you did it, and I won't even try to cover it up. I'll just say, Hannah, you killed someone. I'm sorry. Deal with it.
What a similar name.
Yeah. Lana and Hannah, I guess.
If evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie.
But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. I'm gonna gaslight my sister and convince her she killed someone. I'm gonna call her after this.
She believes she's a murderer. Miss Sky, if you will.
I can't.
There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth.
Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw.
All right. The witness may testify once more for the final time. Actual crime scene.
Whoa. Actual?
Boy, do we look dumb for being like, God, just end. We already figured it out.
I was thinking about this for a while, and I was like,
Emma straight up confessing, oh wow, this is what happened. I remember now. Really feels like it should be the end.
Yeah, but she's Emma, though.
Yeah, she is so stupid. So one last level of total incompetence is just fucking cherry on the pie.
On the apple
pie.
Eel pie.
Ew.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword.
Wow, she just fucking caved. There we go.
Emma and Dark were lying unconscious on the floor nearby.
Convenient how everyone else just passed the fuck out.
Like the elevator crime again.
Yeah.
When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it.
You really are just gonna keep having cases where someone's dead and everyone in the room else is just unconscious for reasons.
Did anyone see it? No, we were all unconscious. Oh man, gosh darn.
And retrograde amnesia, this is crazy. And all the security footage was tampered with, and there was a power outage.
And there was a yeah.
And all paper records burned in the fire last year. Wow.
And it was daylight savings time, so all the clocks were off by an hour, so all the testimony is skewed.
And the evidence was collected by 9 monks and scattered amongst the world like the Infinity Stones. What is Phoenix Wright?
So-and-so needed glasses, and thus what they saw couldn't have been red. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. She's calling it a sword, not a halberd. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Might be. So even you're not sure now.
She caved. She gave up on her entire pretense of lying.
Good. About time.
Unbelievable. The body was impaled on the armor's sword. Judge,
we already knew
we've been
that.
here. You were the only one who saw that. If only you had proof.
Actually, I do have proof. What?
Did she photograph it?
She's a really morbid.
Did she take the sword?
I was in the book.
I gave it to Mr. Wright.
I gave it to Mr. Wright this morning. Is there something in the back? Is it? Oh my! Is it gonna be like that one case where they changed something at the last minute?
Is it in here?
To make it useful to us? Because remember that happened before. What was it? It was like, oh, it was the receipt. It like allowed us to switch. Like we had the receipt the whole time.
Yeah, from the beginning of the game, we never looked at.
Or
the receipt.
it was the note. It was a note that said the name, but when we flipped it over, it was a receipt.
Yeah, it was the whole game. We never looked at the back of the. Specifically, yeah, we only looked at the back of the receipt. We never read the receipt, and the receipt was like the purchase.
For the lamp.
It was the purchase date of like the lamp or something. And
Yep.
It's like, God damn it, Phoenix, look at your evidence. We can't do it for you.
Yeah, what is this book that is this book going to be useful to us now? Is it magic?
What? To me?
It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed.
But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. We could have skipped all of this.
If you just looked in the fucking book.
She gave it to us even though she was refusing to say this? Why would she do that? Why would she?
Wait, actually, yeah.
Why would she do that? What the? Why would she do that?
Because she knew that he wouldn't read it, and so she just had it in case she needed to pull it up later. Because she knew he wouldn't fucking read the law book. He doesn't read his law books.
Why would she just give him the thing that fucks up her whole story?
Just in case she needs it. But she knew he would never find it beforehand because he's an idiot.
She didn't have to do that.
I guess she could just have it on her
She
person,
could have
right?
just held it. Like,
That is true.
you know,
In this court
there's
case.
no reason to have slipped it to him. I'm gonna have a fucking meltdown in this game. Help me.
Keith, I can't help you now.
No.
Lana must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. No, she fucking doesn't. She knew we wouldn't read the law book.
Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I haven't saved it in an hour.
Is it the ducky on the front?
It's the little ducky. The ducky's actually a knife. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lana.
Lana said she gave it to you this morning, right?
Was it this morning? Seem to remember getting something from her.
What if
then.
Gumshoe brought the wrong thing? That'd be funny. That'd be super funny.
And then she dies.
Well, you're guilty, I guess. And she's like, damn it, Gumshoe.
It's a good thing he's my new assistant.
Yeah. Well, better than Emma. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Oh my god.
I can finally look at it for the first time.
That's a picture of you trying to do law.
Look at this stupid fucking book.
It's cute.
Why is the circles only behind evidence?
I don't know.
There's a little ducky, and she's a little Sherlock with a Sherlock cap. And now he's got a PhD.
Oh.
He's got a little Pio.
Wow, you did not even open this, Phoenix. You did not open this.
Look, did you see
book.
how low res that picture was?
Yeah, it was pretty.
It was so garbled.
Well, it's for the DS.
It's just nothing looks like that. It's so weird. Hey, there's a picture here.
Yeah.
There it is.
So she is just a morbid weirdo. Took a picture
Why
of a
did
dead
she
body.
do that? And the piece is just cut out of his fucking vest.
Well, that's important.
And she didn't find that weird.
It's a new fashionable design. Oh my.
That is some runway bullshit.
Yeah, that's
I've got 3/4 of a vest.
that's some haute couture.
The new 3/4 vest
Haute
from Champagne.
couture.
I don't know names.
I don't really know many either. I just knew someone with a Chanel face mask bludgeoned a Big Five employee in our town.
How would he even have reached a vase anyway?
What?
I didn't bring this up much before because we don't know where the fuck the vase was necessarily, but I was like, this narrative where he paints the vase with his blood. It's like the blood from his back wound that he apparently did live from for 10 years or 10 minutes, according to that one thing. But like, how would he reach a vase? I kind of always thought that he wasn't just still on the thing, like he maybe got off or something. He's like, how would he reach a vase to paint it?
I see what you're saying.
Like
yeah.
it would have to be right there, but the statue's just in the middle of an open room. There's nothing near the armor statue.
Yeah, and if yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so I should have figured out sooner that Gant just is the one that wrote Emma.
In the picture, the vase is actually right there next to him. Because remember in the photograph, the vase is like right behind
graph.
him. See?
Yeah, he can reach that.
No, I don't think he definitely can't reach it.
No, it's really far. It's all the way back there on the table. But we've seen it. The suit of armor is right behind Gant's chair as desk in the middle of the room, and that vase is all the way against the wall.
Well, we didn't see the. Did we see the vase in another picture or in another context? Because we only had the vase.
Well, this photo was taken the day of the murder.
Yeah.
And it's against the wall. We can see there.
Yeah.
And we've seen how big the room is from other views.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it's not within his arm reach, his wingspan. It's way the fuck over by the wall.
This is a Phoenix Wright game, and they might have never addressed that.
Yeah.
But I do think what you're saying is right.
I feel like I should have figured out that Gant did that sooner, because how the fuck did he... I think I just assumed he must have gotten off the spike.
But the way he's he got thrown into it up in the air somehow. Like he got yeeted onto the sword. And
he got yeeted and then deleted.
I don't think he's gonna be able to lift his own body off the sword.
Just you lean forward.
Oh, so that would definitely go through him, right? I mean, remember how big it was in the picture?
It's...
Yeah, I mean, it would it'd be poking out a little bit.
It might be at an upward angle. It probably is at an upward angle, because he's kind of leaning forward, so it probably kind of went up into his cavity, his chest cavity, and not out the front.
You know, that really doesn't look like the picture that we have of him hanging there. Like, he would be way lower on the statue. His feet would be touching the ground still. Everything we've seen makes it look like he's suspended. Yeah,
it's a strong statue apparently.
Yeah, see, he's eh. I don't know.
Nothing personal, kid.
No other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had rearranged everything.
There's a fourth page!
So it is possible. Mr. Wright!
My god.
That piece cut out from his vest. Could that be?
The cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. So...
Yeah, what? Wait.
So Emma does correctly remember shoving him, because that's her handprint.
Yeah.
We've got prints off of that, so it is specifically her handprint. What's this?
This is a handprint, isn't it? That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. Uh-oh.
What? But those fingerprints, they're yours, Emma. Be a shame if she could suddenly hear my thoughts.
I was gonna say that whole back and forth, the one that she could hear her thoughts, really comes into play at this moment. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright?
Necrosis.
Are you dying? Do you need iron?
Do you need iron? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. For the 6th time? How many layers deep are we today in this with her? It's a lot.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled, blah, blah, blah.
Hold it!
Who did this?
Marshall.
Ah!
He's back. He never left. He's just pretending. Come now, Udgy. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen.
Why I
Chief
never...
Gant. What? What? Now you want me to make... Now you want to make me out as the bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two with my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? Is this the risks they were talking about? It's like now that he's ever recused himself, he can't come back. Is that the rules? Because they talk about risks, but I don't think they ever said what they were.
No, he just was being vague and threatening.
No, they were saying that if he chooses to withhold his testimony, there are risks that he's taking by doing that. They said it like 3 times to reinforce it. I feel like we're going to find out that he can't come back now. Like he's not allowed to.
Oh, maybe.
You already declined to testify. That means you've forfeited your right to make statements of any sort.
Ooh.
There's the one. That's the face he made when he did all the things.
That's the last face somebody saw.
If he's a murderer?
Yeah, I think
Is
so.
it still in the air that he was a murderer?
I don't know.
Wait, no, yeah, he definitely killed Goodman.
Yeah, he
right,
did.
I gotta remember that.
Yeah. I forgot.
Remember the murder?
Goodman?
That's the case this entire
I
murder is
forgot.
about?
Oops.
Remember the murder this entire case is about?
Remember Meekins? Remember Lunch Lady?
Aw.
Remember these people that are so far away now?
Yeah. The several supporting cast characters introduced in the first day that haven't showed up today at all.
You know what's funny is I was so sure that Lunch Lady was lying because her testimony made no sense, but in reality it was actually 100% truthful.
Which part?
Just her whole testimony.
Oh yeah, she wasn't lying at all about finding Lana.
And
It's just her timing
apprehending her.
Her timing and her data was just bad.
But her being like, I climbed over the fence. Oh, actually, no, I didn't. Oh, actually, I ran through the hallway. Oh, actually, this is all true because she actually did all these things.
Yeah, she really did awkwardly do all these dumb things.
Yeah.
And then athletically climb over the entire fence in heels.
No, she wasn't
and
able to.
apprehend her in the cool lesbian scene.
Wait, I thought
where she's sweaty.
did she, I do like that scene. Did she have to run through the hallway first, or did she?
She ran down the hallway, then got to the defendant's side of the parking lot, then took a picture of her through the fence, then climbed the fence and apprehended her.
I thought it was like she couldn't climb the fence, and so she had to run through the hallway to get her.
No.
That would make more sense, but what?
No, because she was in the window overlooking where Lana already was.
Oh.
So she was already on the same side as Lana. So some of her testimony was confusing because it actually came from when she was in the guard booth. But then to get to Lana, she had to run all the way down the hallway to the other side of the parking lot, then climb the fence because the door next to her that would have led there otherwise was locked. And in that time, Lana went to the phone.
And we never saw her guard boyfriend, even though he is the guard of that place where this murder
Yeah, that
took
turned out to just
place.
never be a character.
I thought for sure it was going to come up, but it wasn't.
Yeah. My boyfriend.
My boyfriend.
She's like 12 boyfriends for uses.
Yeah, that's why I thought she was for sure lying, because that's how you get away with stuff. Is you have a bunch of boyfriends.
She gives access to get access.
Yeah. You're never supposed to call them
What
your
a
boyfriends.
character with
though.
her spite lunches.
Yes. Yeah. She's my favorite.
Can't wait for the next game where she's the murderer and we get to see her again.
I think she's my actual favorite character in this whole game. Yep.
Yeah.
Although I do like Maya. I'm gonna, Maya's special. But
Sweetheart Maya.
oh, Maya, I miss you.
This must be the risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your neck.
Ooh. Edgelord.
Pikachu, use Thunderbolt!
Looks like he looks like a Team Rocket character. Oh my god.
He definitely
He's like
does.
He's like a different generation's Giovanni. And that's when he
Yes.
gets electrocuted in the anime. That he blasts off.
And he uses electric type Pokemon because his hair is a lightning bolt. They did that as a design choice.
Like Lieutenant Spark or whatever his name
Lieutenant
was.
Surge.
Lieutenant Surge.
Yeah. Who had the a Raichu? I don't remember. Electabuzz?
Oh, inappropriate.
What?
Just a because my mind's in
what
the
do you
gutter.
think of?
So I'm just imagining in intimate moments when he might break out the condoms and call them his surge protectors.
Oh, well, okay. Two things. One, write that down. Write that down.
Write that down.
Write that down. Fan fiction. Okay. Two, your knack for puns has like turned a certain direction. Next thing you know, he's gonna be writing like erotic greeting cards or something that they sell at Spencer's. They sell erotic greeting cards at Spencer's.
Oh, right. I always have to remember that Spencer's is like the smutty small place.
Yeah,
because Spencer's
everyone
sounds
knows.
so fucking innocent. The name, like Michael's, it's Spencer's.
Everyone
like,
knows you go to the back. The back. It's like all the kids are not allowed in the back.
Spencer's does not come to mind right away. So whenever you say Spencer's, I'm like, is that like a place where you buy swatches?
Well, that would change the entire context of everything I just said. Yeah, erotic greeting cards from Michael's.
What the fuck is that sound? That sounds lewd.
Well, that's a problem.
It's all G's and C's and K's. That's a sound.
I see cuck.
How do you say that? How do you say that sound long?
How I just did it.
This is a peeve of mine, but I always get annoyed when people write a word long to imply that somebody's yelling it for a long time vowels. Or something, but the long part isn't the vowel, it's like consonants, and I'm like, what?
What if it's and you a h a?
Yeah, the A and H can be spread, but like consonants that are percussive. If somebody like a common thing is for someone to write like fuck or something, and then like there's a bunch of K's, and I'm like, no.
It should just be a bunch of U's.
Yeah, that's not how you'd write that. Like the F and the U can be stretched, but the K can't be stretched. That doesn't. Not unless he has a stutter that makes him sound like a motorcycle for 30 seconds. Like I don't know how you can be repeating or stretching the K unless some weird shit's happening. And that's implying completely different things for the character.
Yeah. Yeah, not pleasant.
So what? You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I still present evidence.
So he can't say anything? You're just gonna show us stuff?
Wait, you mean, yeah, he has to like do it's like Pictionary, like he has to like...
He's like, three words. It's a film.
Lana did it. Damn, he wins.
Damn it. How is this Ghostbusters 2?
You mean Ghostbusters 1? Because they just made it the movie again? That's all that Ghostbusters 2 is. You still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. Someone? So, what's your excuse, Rido? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right?
Oh, it's the swatch.
Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Yeah, the piece of evidence I've tried to show like 6 times now. Is now that time when it's here to betray me? Why does he have a rain gutter in his hair?
Oh, that's like really sharp. I didn't notice that before.
It looks like a rain gutter. It's really a strange visual. Every time he turns his head, it sticks out that far, and I'm like,
Just weird how flat it is in the back.
Yeah, how do you get your hair to do that? It looks like a buttress.
A flying buttress.
I think flying buttresses are something else, but like, whatever you call like those weird. Like if somebody has like a pillar and the pillar has like a framing, like the moldings we have around.
I have no clue what anyone would ever call that.
Yeah, words.
I'll say banister.
Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. I'm back and forth between like a southern dandy and shit, baby.
Shit,
like I'm
baby.
constantly on a fucking like boundary between several voices I don't know how to make for that well.
Just think of Foghorn Leghorn.
I didn't watch that much of WB.
I love. Well, just picture that. Just picture the rooster, and it'll come to you.
Is this true, Mr. Wright? Dun dun. If I show that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as the murderer. I only have one choice. I have to swallow it whole.
Well,
this is not working. I think I've seen that in a movie.
I was gonna say that sounds
Where,
so
someone's
familiar.
trying, too hard to swallow something and it's just not working.
But they do it in front of everyone. They just shove something in their mouth at the last minute.
It's too hard to do, and it's like.
What is that from? Why do I remember that too?
We also just watched an animation where a seagull chokes on a Pringles can, just deep throats it and dies.
Yeah.
At the end of an animation from the Triple King guy, I think. Super King, I don't remember what it's called. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. If you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquiries.
Whoa, who's this imaginary ghost league that we've never heard of until right now?
What do I do now? I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision.
Board of Inquiries, boy.
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 Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall?
Ooh, this might be an actual tough question. I think can't. I don't know. I feel like there might be baiting you to do cannot show, because
then we get arrested, and then they convict her out of spite.
maybe. But it says the one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall. If you present that, you are answering that question with that, and it's like they're setting it up to show you that would be the answer to that question, which is not the answer we want for that question. I think you have to show it in a different context.
But also, what if he cut that piece off and then just put it on her hand?
Yeah, because the floor was oily, so I fell on it.
Is the wax?
Yeah.
Boop.
Or she's just like a really greasy teen.
Yes, Your Honor. I do have further evidence.
All right, the time's finally come to show it to him. Those prints have got to be the chief's. Stupid.
Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall.
Don't show that, show something else. Do you have anything else you could show? Because he can't present evidence, but you can, and so you could fill in the blank with something else. I don't know what else you would.
It was Blue Badger. My God.
Yeah, who really murdered him? Just show the picture of the Blue Badger. Say, this guy.
It was Edgeworth. He killed everyone in every game.
I don't know, you can try show. I just feel like they're like setting it up for that to be the wrong answer.
I don't know what else we present. Most of these aren't even related to this case.
Yeah, I have to remember like which case, real or fake, these are all related to.
It was Marshall, his own brother. I mean, they're setting this one up. I just feel like I'm just wondering if there's like a trick answer that's the real answer that like double incriminates him. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into a sword. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Ryder was checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies.
What? They're mine? So I really did do it.
See? I told you it was conclusive. But this was found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that? There was 2 witnesses to us getting it out of your safe. But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Skye to Neil Marshall's death. No.
Good job, you just got a girl sent to jail.
It appears we have our killer.
A girl that wasn't even on trial.
No. No!
Ooh.
Where is Padme?
Where?
Then Lana alone was found guilty on all counts. That's how you fail the case, even though it just reinforces a thing that has proven several times, but that time it didn't. It led to an instant fail, but this time it do.
I'm telling you, because like the way just the way they phrased it,
fucking...
the way they phrased it was like say no, do not, cannot, do cannot.
Do you think it's kind of odd, or do you think there's like a twist evidence I can present? I don't know. Let's find out.
There probably is a twist.
Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this point in time. And then it's going to be like, well, I guess you're fired. No! What? You lie. Chief Gant? You opened my safe. I know you took what was inside.
He's incriminating himself.
Now he admits that it's in a safe. So now he can present it. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together.
Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? From when I tampered with evidence.
That thing that I noticed because I did.
It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe?
That's sketchy.
What? That means you, the chief of police, had to be concealing evidence. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department.
I don't think so. I think there are probably bigger scandals in the police department.
Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the gall, Rado.
You didn't do anything.
Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana.
So you really were manipulating her.
I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay on her sister, then when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. So you assisted Miss Skye. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body, and I moved the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Dark convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence? You mean those items in your safe? But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst.
Well, in this case, it screwed you over, bucko.
I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for, a fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jaw fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood of off all the pieces. Why would you not expect that?
So they're still sticking with the story that Neil did it and not Gant.
We're gonna go all the way. We're going back to the idea that Neil wrote the blood.
I think so. I don't think it's ever going to come up that he couldn't have done it.
But if you fabricate,
maybe, I don't know.
But if you fabricated all the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too?
I lied.
Ho ho ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance.
It would have made sense anyway, because Neil wasn't like a vindictive asshole who wanted to like, incriminate some girl who accidentally killed him.
Maybe he was. We never met any part of him. We have no idea who he was. He just has an anime face that we judge him by.
He looks like a nice guy.
I don't know. He's just always really quiet. We never thought anything was weird about our neighbor. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Rido. Cough it up already. I know you have it.
What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright?
So you admit it then, Chief Gant. You were the one hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being a chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say? Say for yourself. Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Rido. You should have shown it then before it was too late. That was actually when it was too soon, because you had to admit that it was from your safe. Haha. It's been a long battle. But the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Yeet!
Yeet.
Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. Alright then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. It's gonna fucking fail me again.
It might, because once again that statement's the wrong statement.
They keep giving me choices. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last, you finally brought it out to the open. And we're going to use that evidence against him, even though we've refused, he's not allowed to testify, so that's not a testimony.
Yeah, this whole not testifying thing, he really isn't being as quiet as I thought. I know, exactly.
Yeah.
Chatty Cathy.
There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests to be immediately sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean? It could not have been forged. It must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Fuck.
Edgeworth, no!
No!
Stop, Edgeworth, stop!
Maybe he just gave her a high five through the cloth.
Or maybe he told a really funny joke and she went, "Oh, you!" and slapped him on the chest.
Ho, ho, ho.
Santa.
You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Rido had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that?
Mr. Wright, do you really know?
Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well. I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. The person whom these fingerprints belong to is... Unless I'm supposed to lie or something. Emma Skye?
What? They're mine?
I'm sorry, Emma.
But why? Why didn't you tell me?
Ho, 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 ho! You're really something, Rido. You knew this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death.
How could you? You monster.
Why didn't she do that last time? Miss Sky.
I know. You knew whose fingerprints those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't.
Isn't that what you want? Isn't that her entire goal? You monster, doing what I was doing this whole time.
Yeah, actually.
Whatever. Miss Sky, it's not over yet.
What?
I said this trial isn't over yet. Did I stutter?
Did I stutter?
Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. That's what you did.
Yeah, Mr. I put it in a safe.
Wow, you should have talked about a law about how you should get fired. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy.
You want my tiny little badge?
My tiny badge is so much smaller than yours.
Yeah, it is, because I mean, look at his.
What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? What?
I think you did that.
I think she did that, if she did it.
Well, yeah.
Oh, this is a weird blame to direct. Before I do that, there's one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What?
What?
Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? Are we gonna flip the cloth over and the other side has his handprint on it? Because he had to give her unconscious body like a high five to get the print.
That would be funny.
Because that's literally what I already said earlier. So it's gonna be really. It was Emma Sky, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible, because this is the inside of the vest. Is that where we're going? Did he use the wrong side of the cloth?
That would be funny too.
I think it's gonna be that.
Oh my gosh, please.
I think it's gonna be he got the cloth backwards when he did the print.
How did Phoenix notice this and not us?
Because he can see it. We just get a vague gray, a vague like brown.
But we're supposed to be able to.
It looks like a fucking piece of tissue from here. Like, we don't know what material it is. But it'd be really funny if we flip it over and there's like a badge on the outside.
Oh my gosh.
It's like too stupid.
Or there's a note that says like he
really fucked up in the dark.
Gant did it. Or there's a receipt for a lamp purchase.
You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool blabbing about? I'm talking about a contradiction. One that proves who the real killer is. Mr. Wright, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth.
Can you look at it? I mean, oh, whoa, the blood. Wait, is it? Wait.
Is this supposed to be the blood?
Wait, no, yeah, that. There's no blood on it.
I can flip it over.
In the picture, the blood is like on his shirt where his vest is supposed to be.
How is there a sharp corner? I'm trying to figure out like which side of this is the part that faces the inside of the vest. This doesn't look like a piece of a vest. There's like no seams or like any details on it.
No, it's a brown paper bag.
I was trying to see if I could play like the game of like seeing exactly how it matches up and then be like, aha, it's the back or whatever.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the fact that the blood goes on his shirt where his vest is supposed to be. Because the blood obviously was spilled after the vest piece was taken. Because if the vest was there, then the vest would have blood on it.
I don't, but I don't know if that works. Because
But see how like the blood is on the vest above where the handprint was? If that piece of cloth was where it was supposed to be, the blood would have been on that piece of cloth too, but it's not.
But what if it just was taken off? Maybe the lack of blood is evidence that he wiped out the blood off, and then that means the print was made later?
Maybe. I really think it's like the blood splatter existing.
Because, like, are you implying that that's not from his vest at all?
No.
It's just unrelated cloth?
No, I'm implying that somehow he cut out the piece before he stabbed him onto, or before this. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense visually. Like the blood trickled down his vest, but none of it's on the cloth.
Why isn't there a visible seam anywhere? All of the edges of this vest have seams.
I don't think that's the point either.
But it's just the fact that if there was a seam, I could tell which side was which.
I don't think that's the point.
What's the contradiction? It's there then, which is the same day. But it's not like it was missing already or anything weird like that.
That'd be funny.
What the fuck is the contradiction?
I still think it's what I said.
It's just the photo? Mm-hmm. We can try it. I can't save. Hope you're right. And what exactly is this supposed to be? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of this vest was cut out? Yes. His shirt is showing underneath. Oh, I think it's the fact that his shirt is covered in blood.
That's what I'm saying, Keith. The piece of the vest would have blood on it. Because that's the guy's blood on the shirt where the piece of the vest was.
No, I mean specifically the fact that the hole had to be removed already. Because instead of, I'm not talking about whether or not the scrap has blood. I'm saying that the scrap must have already been taken because his shirt has blood.
That's what I'm saying. Because if the vest had been there, the vest would have had blood on it instead of the shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, I'm saying that. You said it weird.
No, I didn't.
Because the big detail is the fact that the shirt has blood on it. It's like, how could it get blood there if he was wearing a shirt? I mean, he was wearing a vest.
Exactly. The blood splatter would have implied that the blood would have went onto his vest if the vest had been there, but it's not. It's on the shirt instead.
But I just feel like it could have been removed from the vest easily. Whereas the big thing is just the fact that it's on the shirt at all.
Just proceed, Jared.
It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs were no doubt punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Oh, but that piece of cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it.
See?
That's really where they're going with this.
I told you.
Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. I'm trying to imagine a timeline for what the fuck's about to be said, and it's hurting me. Fuck.
He impaled him on the thing afterwards?
Like, Dark gets knocked out, Emma passes out, and then Marshall's fine or something? And then Gant's like, hello, sir, I would like to cut a hole in your shirt now, and then he kills him.
Keith,
like,
Keith.
What is the timeline here?
Wait, actually, no, okay, how about this?
How did he get the scrap off before he got killed?
I don't know, but you know what I was thinking about earlier?
That's the entire contradiction, though. That's the most important thing right now.
But here's what I was thinking about, Keith. Is that picture that Emma saw with the blue badger in it that is actually the vase? Do you think that the vase is being thrown at them?
Like he's imagining Gant throwing the vase at them?
Like she saw that figure in the sky.
But how would it have Emma written on blood already if no one was bleeding yet?
Because he did it beforehand. Because he's I don't know. I don't know that part. That's the only part that I can't figure out.
It already has his name before then.
Yeah.
I don't know if the overhead blue badger face is gonna ever make sense. That drawing.
Well, that'd be how he got knocked out. That'd also be why all the pieces were on the floor.
But they'd have to already say Emma on it.
But I could
Like,
see
how premeditated is this? How would he even know Joe Dark would run to this office to premeditate it this hard?
He wasn't. I don't know. That's you know, a lot of this game doesn't make a lot of sense. But that's what I was thinking ever since I saw the picture.
I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Because of the way that she drew.
How the fuck is he gonna get the material before he dies?
She drew the window in. She drew the window in, and then she drew the blue badger shape, which is why I was thinking that ever since I saw it.
I'm so confused.
But I wasn't sure how it would come into play yet.
I can't imagine any outcome where he somehow gets the material then stabs him.
He's knocked out first with the vase, and then he cuts the material out, and then he pierces him onto the armor.
No, what's bizarre?
So Emma saw a fight between Neil Marshall and Joe Dark genuinely, but it was interrupted by Gant throwing the vase at them.
The vase is definitely wrong.
I don't know.
It has Emma written on it in blood.
But this game has done stupider things.
No,
Yes, it has.
That doesn't make any sense. I don't. What the fuck? Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time, apparently. We call it a different thing in every conversation. It's a sword knife halberd.
It is a pointy, sharp object.
No. This is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lana Skye, picked up the unconscious prosecutor, and impaled him on the armor's sword?
That's pretty gnarly, by the way, because that means he picked up an unconscious man and then had to hold him and pierce him onto an armor sword.
What is motivation? I guess it's... But
promotion?
that's what came to mind, but then I'm like, but they kept saying that he was already in line for promotion, so he was gonna be fine anyway. Did he literally just kill Marshall's brother to blackmail Lana?
Potentially.
Like the entire, he didn't just be. He wasn't just an opportunist on an actual murder. He made a murder to be an opportunist, apparently, which is like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's a lot.
Is that one better for you? Because it's not many, the H H G G G N N.
It's just that's just a straight up like that's just a normal ass anime noise.
Yeah.
That's just a Dragon Ball Z filler scene.
It's
we need 10 seconds of no script.
It's the noise of strain.
Not a word was written in that script. Everyone's just literally alternating between two different grimacing frames while they slowly float to the left, which requires no animation.
It's the episode in which they just have an arm wrestling competition, and so everyone's just arm wrestling and just making that noise. There's no dialogue.
Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. A jar they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue and make Lana believe her sister did it. How did you plan this out so quickly? Like, Jesus. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? Through the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. That's a lot. It's just a lot.
I'm glad I got to look at it longer.
Yeah. It's finally all over.
Who? Oh, pathetic melted ice cream man.
Sad Gant.
His hair is falling.
What a visual. So they just already wore. So wait, what? How did?
He's
did
gonna
we cover how Marshall got unconscious?
He's gonna explain it, right? We're gonna reveal it. Oh gosh. Okay. Uh-oh.
What? What? Pick a tone. Oh god.
Oh goodness.
That was close, Rido. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations.
Can you just do that?
What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence.
Fool.
Order?
Too late for this nonsense.
What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Udgy? Earlier, old Rido here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Rido? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I can present at this time.
I mean, at this point in time, you just changed the point of time.
That's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence.
But that's not fair.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
He's Frosty the Snowman. He's melting away.
Oh no. Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump. Look at Frosty.
Wait, is
Kill.
Thumpity thump thump, thumpity thump thump. Isn't that the Easter's on its way one? Wait.
Ooh, I don't think there was an Easter one.
There is an Easter one.
There's an Easter Rankin Bass?
Yeah.
I think it's look at Frosty go over those hills of snow.
Yeah, probably. There is an Easter one, though.
Cursed.
Yeah.
Did you actually think you could best me in court? And it looks like the last laugh's on you, son. He's so orange. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. But fuck him.
It's too late now.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Uno reverse card. Well, Mr. Wright? Is it illegal just because we hid it for a moment and then didn't hide it again?
Or is it illegal because we broke into a fucking safe to get it? That's probably the illegal part.
That was what he was going to say, but then he didn't say that. It was just the fact that we hid it for a moment. Isn't every piece of testimony then illegal evidence? Because everyone lies first.
In this game, pulling this out now is like kind of nonsense because we would just.
I think half the rules we get in these games never come up in other cases. Like they'll just contradict them everywhere else. Once again, remember the time we just blackmailed somebody into going to jail?
Yeah.
Because that's what happened. We didn't prove it. We just blackmailed them, and then they're like, "I confessed." Well, that seems ethical. It seems, at last. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. You had a plan.
You gonna tell us what your plan is, Phoenix?
Mr. Wright, do you admit it? That you purposefully and illegally concealed this piece of cloth?
I'm assuming I did not?
I did not hide it. I did not.
I did not.
I admit I refused to present it on one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Never said that.
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. He's gonna quote the book back at him because it had to be relevant. So
yeah.
he had to reveal it with its relevancy because it wasn't registered evidence. This rule will never come up again.
No.
It's too stupid and confusing. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really believe. There's only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well. Let us settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. Evidence law.
Look at that book.
Look at my book. My book is amazing. It had the murder photo in it. That was kind of weird. Don't know why she did that.
Yeah, I don't either.
She was not on our side.
Nope.
What the fuck, Lana? The writing of this case makes my brain hurt. This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. Remember the laws that govern this thing that we all are supposed to know about?
We all never seem to know about?
Yeah, I have to show it to you in a picture book, apparently, with a duck on the cover. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief.
No, you didn't.
Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law.
There's only 2.
Your hair is flaccid, whereas mine is more erect than ever.
It's growing more powerful.
Rule number 1. That's the wrong one, Edgeworth.
There's only 2 and he reads the wrong one.
No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe.
I found it there.
I did not have approval from the police department. Rule number 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only after a few moments ago.
It's because the piece of cloth was
Didn't we see that photo before that choice? Because when Lana pointed out that we already had it. That was like well beyond the part where I obscured evidence.
No.
So,
no, right?
yeah.
Wasn't this...
Lana, we haven't even seen Lana forever now.
That's true.
I'm pretty sure we've known about this photo for like a half an hour or so, whereas the choice to obscure the evidence was like 10 minutes ago.
I don't remember.
Yeah. That was shown only a few moments ago. No. He is right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. Also, he showed it to us like 12 times. I think you really can't say I obscured this evidence when I kept trying to show it to them at all the wrong moments.
You're waving it around.
Canonically,
like
everyone has seen this before. Like, I have the footage to show it, and mine's not corrupted like all the people in the universe. Mine's like 100 hours long at this rate. I'm getting all scratchy. We've been going a long time because we keep thinking it'll be over any minute.
But then... And then... Lana should just freaking came out with it from the beginning.
Wasting our time for a whole goddamn day. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth.
Oh yeah, because he did acknowledge.
Ha ha. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person that could be. Damon Gant. The killer was you.
Ah! Oh no!
Oh my fucking god! He got really...
Oh no!
He got real clappy. Oh my fucking
Oh
God.
no, that was spooky.
This turned into like an elite beat agents fucking thing. Like what? I knew I should have gotten rid of him. That good-for-nothing scum. What did he do?
Yeah, what?
Why are you going after him?
Kiki.
Kiki, chill. Stop trying to like destroy my bed back there. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me.
For a good reason, obviously.
Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. It was pretty petty, his reasoning.
Yeah.
He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Yep, that's right. So that's why Goodman was murdered, and those two were
doing the weird things that they were
fired,
doing.
He was demoted, I think.
Yes. Not really fair, actually, now that I say that. Why did he get demoted? She got friggin' fired. She had to be a lunch. She has to be a lunch lady. He has to be a security guard at the same place. That's much better.
Maybe he was higher. Well, no, that was going to be his first case with his brother.
Yeah.
So he was new too.
And she was already known to be impressive. She was the coffin queen. She already had like a whole background.
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's the anime trope where everyone has to have a title like that. I think of like the like Danganronpa and stuff. Everyone has like everyone has like weird like high school titles. Like, oh man, it's the soccer titan and stuff like that. And I'm like, they're just kids. Chill, Jesus.
Where's my cool title?
If the evidence is transferred, I'll lose my only chance to find the truth. Please, you've got to help me. With my towel hair.
No, I will not help you on that basis alone.
Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden he decided to speak out.
So this, oh wow.
He's just gonna confess to this murder? We like barely even confirmed this murder was real. We got him in trouble for a completely different murder, and now he's just gonna confess to this one now.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that we hadn't. You know what? In all the hubbub, I forgot that we had never even remotely, we only very loosely tied him to this one.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have like a motive, and we have like pretty good reason to think so, but nothing.
Well,
I think
there's the thing where we kind of sort of proved that he was the one in the evidence room with Goodman,
and there was a lot of blood there.
What we had to do is we had to prove Lana was being blackmailed because she was like fucking stonewalling us by just being like, "No, I confess," and like filibustering the whole thing forever. What are you talking about, Goodman?
It's just we had way more going on with the other case as opposed to this one.
Goodman needs a voice.
Oh. Okay, can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? That's why I got murdered. We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. He says, we won't hear you talk anymore, so he killed him.
He opened his evidence locker, and as he was taking the evidence out, he said,
"It's not too late. It's never too late. I'm gonna hand all this over to Marshall." Me.
Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he'd bring up SL9. That's when I saw it, that accursed knife. Get him.
You just killed him pretty willy-nilly, I'd say.
I couldn't just pull it out. We just did it. It was just a crime of passion in the moment. He's just not a planner, this guy.
No, you just got angry.
Yeah. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, The blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor I didn't realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer.
Oh, there's his title.
We've never heard that before.
Nope.
But everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry. I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk. But what's the big deal? You made a lot more than us detectives ever will.
Well, now we know
Which is a good explanation to convict him of murder? Also, he broke his trunk. I mean, just imagine a different outcome where, like, the body just falls out on the freeway.
He gets ran over by some other cars. No one knows if he was dead beforehand or not because his body's all torn up.
Grr.
Grr.
Leaving the prosecution's car aside. How? How could you get Miss Skye involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. Not as much to lose as you did. You would be convicted of murder.
Yeah.
Her sister would be sad.
Yes.
You would go to jail and probably get the death penalty.
Those are equal things, Keith, you know?
God damn it, Lana. Most frustrating character in all of Phoenix Wright. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker. I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same.
We're nothing alike.
That's
One
always
day
a trope
you'll
too.
understand.
We're one and the same, you and I. No, we're nothing alike.
And then they fight.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just like, yeah. So usually it's the exact same line, actually. It's like, we are the same, you and I.
Yeah, that's
like-
yeah. We're not so much different, you and I.
We're not too different, you and I.
No.
No, I am your father. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
So he's implying that one day Edgeworth is gonna.
It just feels like nonsense because he's kind of implying that like that this is what he had to do for justice, but like, no. Nothing about this was in pursuit of justice.
Especially not the second murder. Or Neil. Neil Marshall's murder really wasn't, and neither was Goodman's. Like, if anything,
Once you try to go it alone, like you killed your coworker so that you could get more power. It's not. It has nothing to do with your hatred of criminals. This is just baffling.
is that Edgeworth just gonna kill other prosecutors to become the top prosecutor,
There can only be one.
so he can prosecute harder?
And now I'm the all-secutor. I'm losing my mind. This is longer than I ever expected it could be. Well, it looks like it's time to say goodbye. I thought we were wrapping this up in like an hour. Not really an hour, but I was like, how much could there be left in the third part of the trial?
You silly,
and I'm
silly boy.
My God.
Silly boy.
Oh, Udgy. What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend.
I hate you now.
I'm sorry too, Damon Gant.
I never want to see you again.
I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator, an example of others in the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Uji. Thanks for all the memories, though, even though they weren't so great.
Tastes like you, only sweeter.
We're broken.
Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Righto here. And Worthy.
Those aren't their names.
Yeah, he just refuses to name names correctly.
With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sound of a new beginning.
And church bells as they get married.
Is that why this is called From the Ashes? So we're burning down the current system, and then these two are rising from the ashes.
Yeah.
It's the only case in this game that's not called Turnabout something.
Yeah, that's true.
They're all called like Turnabout something something, Turnabout something. This one's called From the Ashes, and that's it.
Burn down the system. Start anew. No more. Yeah, I guess because you're getting rid of the chief of police, they're
From
gonna.
the ashes of Maya. There are two things I want you to understand.
Yes.
First, your sister never hurt anyone. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Sky, you no longer have any reason to keep silent.
Third, you are a pain in the ass to deal with. That would be
Yep.
my last thing I'd say to her. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today.
Oh god, how much is it?
There's a long ass list.
Oh no.
I killed lots of people.
So, it seems all the questions raised in this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Sky. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble.
My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh, smile!
Smile!
My heart!
My heart!
I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright.
Miss Sky,
And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit as much as I have over these past few days.
No.
No.
We didn't have stakes. There's no consequences for us. We could just win or lose a trial. In fact, one of us will win and one of us will lose, and that's it.
But Edgeworth did,
And we still get paid.
Edgeworth did get like kind of lambasted a bit though.
Yeah. Yeah, we had no stakes. We definitely didn't feel her pain.
Yeah.
We're just out for cred. I mean, we care, but not. We still don't have. No.
We weren't even going to take this case. We were like, eh.
Yeah.
Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you.
Humph. Harumph. It was nothing.
Bah humbug.
Liar.
I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth.
Stop it. I only did my job.
Stop it.
Just to
Just
hold
stop
back
it.
all my punches in my prosecution of you.
in light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for all of us. Miss Sky,
Yes, Your Honor.
you are innocent of murder. However, although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as his accomplice. A trial will be scheduled for those crimes at a later date.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Is there something amusing about all of this? Why are you smiling?
It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I felt free of these heavy chains.
Yeah, she's smiling because, like, one, people are often, that carry guilt are often, like, happy to finally get caught. And there's, like, a relief. But then there's the aspect of, like, she's finally out from under,
Damon's boot.
yeah, she's out from under,
Gloves
Gant.
boot.
Gloves boot.
It's the boots.
She's finally out from under Damon, and her sister never killed anyone.
Yeah,
It's a lot of good news in one day.
that is a relief.
Her career's over.
But that's honestly,
She might be going to jail.
that's like the least of her problems. But
Yeah.
considering what happens in this society, she'll just be a security guard now.
Yep, she's gonna be a lunch lady.
Or she'll be a lunch lady because she's a woman, so down to the lunch lady.
Women handle food and brooms and nothing else.
She's gonna be the janitor.
Janitor Lana still wears a muffler.
She can't not wear it now.
Whenever she fixes a pipe, there's a red muffler on it.
Aw, that's her calling card.
What is this world, Lord? Well, this trial has gone on for far too long already.
Guys, wow.
People are like, yeah, we would have liked to have picked a new game like 2 months ago. Jesus.
Regarding the charge of murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Yay! Yay! Confetti. Who loads that confetti up? Lana, you're the janitor now. You have to sweep up all that confetti.
It only celebrates in one direction. Like, there's no like, yay, we got him, confetti.
Oh yeah, no.
It's just for
not guilty.
It's just Phoenix confetti. I think it's his.
He's like
Or he's
imagining all of it.
Yeah. It's like when you're opening your emails and somebody says like congratulations or birthday, so your fucking browser just adds confetti to the screen.
I've never had that happen before.
That's a thing, and it's annoying.
Oh.
It just augments your fucking emails or text messages with just like surprise confetti. It's like, ugh.
Someone has a heart attack and like dies because confetti shows up on their screen unannounced.
That is all. The court is adjourned.
We've done it. We apparently were in there for like 2.5 hours, which is about as long as we actually spent there, which is confusing because we like used a lot of time on dumb bullshit, whereas they so like I don't know how they spent 2.5 hours just now.
I know how we did, but yeah, I don't know how they did.
By talking about Final Fantasy. At long last, it's finally over. Emma? Why the long face? Fell on the taffy machine.
Stupid joke, Keith. Stupid joke.
I always am thinking about Willy Wonka. They had to put her in the stretcher, the squeezer, and then the They had to put her in the squeezer. They had to put the little kid in the in the taffy machine to make him normal sized again. Because he was tiny.
You know, I really didn't like the remake of the movie, but the one thing I kind of liked was at the end it has them all walking out of the factory, but they're all fucked up looking. So
I don't like that though, because I want them to all be
dead.
I like that the first movie reads as a slasher film.
I just liked imagining them all like I liked seeing them all like weird and like all stretched out and all funky.
Yeah.
But the no, I like the she fell down the trash chute. It's like, oh, well, they pick up trash on Wednesdays.
I think that incinerator is only turned on every other day.
Yeah, but yeah, I think they just incinerate it every other day or whatever. They're like, oh no, our daughter.
Yeah, and he dives down. They're all bad eggs.
All bad eggs.
I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. Now she just has to go be dead to rights for all the shit she definitely did.
Yeah.
For you. Enjoy the guilt.
Yeah, see, that's the face
She
of
did
guilt.
many crimes for you.
No, that's not it.
People were hurt for you.
Just now, after the trial ended. I can see why Mia Fey thought so highly of you. I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. And to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. Blah, 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 blah.
Yo, Aries doing
smile.
this again.
Cute smile.
We just had this conversation. We remember. It was like a minute ago.
You know, I did my best too. But Lana didn't say a single word to me.
Because you didn't do shit.
No, you didn't.
All of your testimony was wrong, and you didn't bring any evidence to the table. All you did was just sit around and be a 12-year-old.
And she had luminol. I guess that was, you know, she's 16,
A thing
by
you
the
can
way.
just get. Like, we don't need her. We have Amazon.
Yeah, I know. I looked it up. Remember?
Also a real police department that would have that stuff.
Or at least they should. But Gumshoe
Yeah.
doesn't know how to police. So
Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pal.
see, he has been saying that this whole case.
What?
Because remember last time we thought
yeah,
that Ballard
every time
was...
we come here.
Yeah.
Rule of threes. They're doing it. Oh, I guess I am. I'll come back later.
And now we'll say, no, Gumshoe, wait.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run around while on duty. The thing that you do when you're on duty.
That's what I said.
And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
He says that every time.
Do you have Alzheimer's? Should we be concerned? Is this foreshadowing for his like death in the next game, where he like loses his mind over the course of a case, and then we're like, oh no, the diagnosis, he has 2 months to live.
And then he was actually the murderer, but he forgot.
Like this is genuinely concerning. This is beyond cartoonish, like wacky Gumshoe hijinks, and more like Gumshoe.
We're worried about you.
Where do you think we are? Fucking Dr. Cox cemetery scene.
Oh gosh.
Where do you think we are? It's like Gumshoe's already dead. This is his grave.
Oh my gosh, he's in purgatory and he has to just be... I don't know, this could be purgatory. This whole game seems like it could be purgatory, actually.
Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding.
Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope, not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me?
That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Lana?
Should you be doing this? She's still under arrest, you know. Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Gumshoe's like, I didn't realize that was a problem. I'm not a very good cop.
I was fired.
Yeah. Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day, 2 years ago.
I did horrible things for 2 years that you're gonna have to live with. It was all for you.
I'll make a big list for you. Was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis?
With... I know there's like 50 reasons why this case is like really iffy on a writing standpoint, but the fact that Emma somehow came in that room and was like, he's impaled on a statue after having fought the bad guy, the only explanation possible is that Emma shoved him onto it? How would you ever come to that conclusion, to think that you had to protect Emma from this case? Like, how is that a logical conclusion in any part of this? Especially since the handprint was not there, because it had already been removed. So there was no handprint to show her. There was no real evidence. And like, he's a much larger man, because she was like 12. I think she was 12?
She was 14.
She was 14. She was a very young girl who somehow just like threw this dude onto a spear and killed him.
That thought is funny.
like how the fuck? How do you come to the conclusion that she totally murdered someone? And that's the core of this entire thing. The only thing I can think is that Gant, after planting all this evidence, was then like just telling her what must have happened, and then she believed him or something, even though he also wasn't there.
I also just want to know how the fuck she saw that vase in the shape of the blue badger. The angle at which we had to put it to make it look that way makes no sense for her to be able to draw it that way.
There's a lot going on in this case.
Also, I do like to think about how Gant had to lift up an unconscious man and press him hard enough against a spear to pierce him. Which I imagine actually takes quite a lot of force.
It's like, I liked Gant and Lunch Lady and Meekins, but I didn't really like this case very much.
No.
It was so long, and even after it's over, I'm still like, I'm having trouble buying this.
See, I had
I think
trouble.
they need to reel it in. The first few were just kind of better, and they kept trying to one up the previous case with each next case, and it's like, all right, come on. It's starting to get a little Sherlock season 4-y right now.
It's like all of these have been like kind of like stretches, you know, but this one has it's 3 cases in one, so the stretches of it is like times 3. Like it is Laffy Taffy stretch.
Yeah.
It is taffy.
But each individual one of those 3 cases tried to be as long as and as complicated as one of the normal cases.
But they had to tie in them all to each other, so it was like...
Including one that wasn't real.
Yeah.
There was never a body, and we had to prove it for some reason.
I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake, but now I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day.
No, you didn't. You've been wearing the same clothes for like 2 years.
Cool, badass posing.
See, he used to have pecs, but now he's got boobs.
I still... kinda. I mean, they're still kinda flabby, but... I had to. It was the only way I can make it through the past 2 years.
The guilt was weighing him down for 2 years.
I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react if you knew.
So I plucked them out. You have cybernetic eyes.
Those were not your real eyes. But sis, you're only doing it for me. She was like, has baby pictures of like having green eyes. And she's like, why are my eyes green in these pictures, Mom? Mom? No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. In hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you.
I mean, you turn your back on like on a regular basis. That's just a thing you do.
Yeah.
We all noticed.
Sis. I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? What is that feeling?
Did you get your sister back?
Of course. You know, sis. I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Hee 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 hee. Aw, cute hug.
Huggies. No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on towards a brighter future. In jail for all the crimes we did. At least that's what I felt, watching the 2 sisters make up.
Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe.
Me?
Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth?
Edgeworth?
Stop hiding and come over here.
He was behind the plant.
Angry boy.
We haven't seen this face in a while.
No.
Where was he hiding? It's just one of the guards just takes off his hat and it's Edgeworth. The weird template guards that never move. I just came to say, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Right, well, I'll be going now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. He comes
here.
back. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you.
You ruined my career. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realize today that I can't correct my mistakes.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me, we're the same.
One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. Any day now you'll string Phoenix up in a noose and be like, dang, who can I blame this on that'll give me some
street cred
advancements? Just a normal thing to do when you're fighting crime, really. Once it gets to you. Logical progression, really. I'm definitely not a psychopath.
Isn't that how everybody gets promotions? Isn't that how every person who ever gets promoted gets promoted? By murdering?
How many of your coworkers have you killed?
Oh, it's, well, I'm 3 levels up, so 4. Just one for extra fun.
One was a secret.
Yeah. Don't worry about that one.
You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it alone.
Isn't he already doing things alone? He doesn't have Maya.
I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them. But in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon.
He's gonna become Batman.
It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now.
But Edgeworth?
Who knows? Given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did.
Why?
I can't imagine that being true.
Would you? Yeah, no, Chief Gant's behavior doesn't make any sense. It's like psychopath bullshit. Because he wanted to be king.
If you really think that, then I'm concerned for you.
Yeah. Does he forget what the case was?
That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as prosecutor.
Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma.
Remember him?
Yeah, Daddy. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime.
Because they were criminals.
But they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?
I hate that sentence so much. It's so on the nose that it's almost as bad as having the final chapter be called From the Ashes of a game called Phoenix Wright.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Yup.
Yep.
Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz?
Come on, Mr. Wright. Show him what Lana's talking about.
Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own.
Blue Badger.
Wait. What was the context for this again?
I don't know.
Wait, what just happened? Wait, what?
Something they had to work together. You guys had to work together to use. Something that proves that you're in love.
I don't understand what I'm presenting right now. My badge.
No.
That might mean something to you, but I don't see how it had anything to do with our partnership.
As he smiles.
My partnership. Huh?
Mr. Wright, it seems like you still have a lot to learn as well.
I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. I lost the flow. I wasn't ready for more tests. I'm tired. It's been 3 hours.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth.
Wait!
You lost friendship points!
Oh wait, no, it's still going. Or did it? Oh wait.
If you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor.
Wait, you can fail that?
You missed a special moment!
I didn't know there were still tests to have in this fucking game. I don't have saves that are recent. Oh no. I'm trying to go to bed.
You lost hearts with him. You
Edgeworth,
lost hearts.
what will you do now?
You can't present the blue feather now.
Whatever you do, just remember. What do you think it was?
I don't know. I didn't get to look yet, but I think it might be the I don't know, the screwdriver.
You can let what happened kill You can let what happened kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? Fucking calm down.
Snaps back to reality.
But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. It's very threatening to say that. Stop saying that. Farewell. You could you could fail that fucking moment and
Nice going.
It always loops. And I couldn't save because the menu just opened on me and I was like, oh. Like I tried to save, but you can't press start when you're on that screen.
I better be going too, you failure. Okay, but I hope you'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. It's a scientific investigation. It's got the chickie on it.
Why is there a For Dummies series of books for like the entire criminal case and everything?
Well, it's funny because all of these are like
how many different
careers
fields?
that take like handfuls of years in college to achieve.
But it's like a children's book.
So I don't think like a children's book can even remotely provide you with what you actually need to know to do any of these jobs.
Yeah.
Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought. Study it well.
That's your first book?
So she also wanted to be a scientific investigator. That worked out really well for her.
She just hops between every single possible career.
Thanks, sis. I will.
I think her glasses are bent. They like don't line up right. Like they're bent at the nose and they go at a different angle.
Once again, the artists have some perspective issues.
And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith that their relationship's better than mine and Edgeworth's.
Damn it.
Faith that their lives have only just begun. Man, I failed the last choice in the dating simulator.
You did.
And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. Remember those characters?
Yes.
Bye. They're all in the upside down. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal.
I like how he wasn't in your little collection of...
He was.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're forgettable, Gumshoe.
Damn. To Stephanie, apparently. She just doesn't love you.
I think I might have been too focused. I think it was Mia showed up and I was looking at Mia and Maya.
Huh?
Forgot about
what is it, detective? I think he was. I think it was Butts, Gumshoe, Mia, Maya, Edgeworth. There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this.
But
I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Was she already at jail? I thought aren't we outside the courtroom?
yeah.
Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. It was his entire bonus of $20. Huh?
Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side.
Wild side. Yeah, well, ha ha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one who to be footing the bill. Huh? Huh? What, you think I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding, pal. Is that all the proceeds of this entire case?
That'd be funny.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best.
Why is it? I suddenly feel like I want to scream. Everyone else did today. We all took
that's
turns.
true. We had a lot of screaming.
Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go.
Is this the credits? It is. We made it.
Yay!
We made it. And I broke Edgeworth's heart.
You did, you traitor.
I'm a real heartbreaker. Oh my fucking god, we're still going.
I arranged for a friend of mine in Europe, blah, 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 blah. Oh, should blah, 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 blah. This fair has pretty much ended my days at the prosecutor's office. Still, I managed to find my way back to the field somehow. Then I'll be able to investigate crimes together with Emma. She wants to be an investigator anyway. And she said that Emma was going to work with the coroner.
She quits.
Is that what she said? Emma was working with the coroner, which is kind of funny. That is how you learn actual scientific investigation.
Yeah.
Like forensic investigation.
Yikes. I thought I was a goner for a moment there. In the end, though, they overlooked my unauthorized investigation of the chief's office. If we penalize you anymore, it'll be worse than firing you. Yep, that's what they said. Just goes to show you can't shake me off that easily. I'm like fleas.
Oh, gumshoe. Well, I had a fun time with this.
Yeah. No, I like Phoenix Wright. It's fun.
This game is fucking. It makes no fucking sense though.
Yeah, no.
I'll say straight up. This is the most convoluted bullshit I've seen in a long time.
Some of the plots are some hot nonsense. It really is almost entirely about hanging out with certain characters.
My new mission is to guard the main entrance and take care of Billy.
The cactus.
Can you believe it? I've been demoted to security guard. My partner's keeping an eye on the entrance for me today.
Oh.
I'll show them, though. Someday I'm gonna make a detective. Yes, sir. Then I can be just like Dick Gumshoe.
Oh, he wants to be like Gumshoe.
He got demoted for being assaulted?
Yeah, why? So is his partner gonna be Cowboy? Is Cowboy working for Meekins now? Because that'd be funny. I've been saying that a lot today. That'd be funny. It's been my catchphrase. Oh my gosh, my favorite character! That's my favorite character right there. Where's I need my Blue Badger shirt.
The Austin
I need to
Powers
find
joke.
a Blue Badger shirt. I want a Blue Badger shirt. I'm gonna look it up on Redbubble.
Oh no, he broke. He's dead.
That's what you get for blocking evidence. And Gumshoe's gonna have to fix him instead of doing any actual work.
That bloody handprint was there before he got moved. That's bizarre. What is it? Can't you see I'm Miss Star managed to sneak this into me. She's seeing one of the guards. Well, cowboy, it looks like you did it. You even gave Bambi. You make sure Billy and the gang get their water. It's fucking auto proceeding. God damn it.
Saying that
Isn't the
Miss
timeline that the Blue Badger was added after Goodman was murdered?
Looks like we won't be seeing
Hair flip.
each other for a while.
Hair flip.
As a farewell gift, I put a new meal on the menu, the Right Way Lunch. The top layer tastes as bitter as defeat, but the bottom layer is as sweet as victory. Kids seem to dig the turnabout theme. It's a hot seller around exam time. Just make sure not to eat it backwards.
What? Why won't we see each other for a while? Don't you work here? Where I work? Isn't she here all the time? Or is she quitting because this is all a front?
I don't know. She's dating one of the security guards, the cowboy said.
I'll never forget what that young defense lawyer said after the trial. Let's see, what was his name again? Mr. Left?
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, he's been doing something or other for how many? Well, anyway, I've got another trial to get to, so I'd better be... Huh? Oh no. I forgot my gavel. Sorry, gotta go.
Oh, that's what his chair looks like.
He can move.
I've never seen it.
We've seen his chair before.
Really?
Yeah. It's not common, but we've seen it before. I've fixated on before on how it's a weird clashing shade of it's like
orange.
weirdly saturated.
Yeah.
In like a kind of unsaturated room.
The judge doesn't remember us, but we've spent like probably 10 hours with them at least. How many hours? Nothing soothes the soul like fresh country air.
And a waterfall.
Still, sometimes I do miss hearing you and your objection, so I can't go back until I'm a full-fledged spirit medium. Mr. Maya, afternoon training is about to begin. Coming. Well, see you around, Nick. That's the one that's just my voice.
It's back.
It's back.
Maybe it'll be back next game. The better character, who isn't an idiot. This has been episode 100.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh!
I think I'm just gonna upload like a 3-hour episode.
Oh, just so
As the
it's
finale.
episode 100.
Yeah. Ta-da!
That way, us losing our mind over the course of it makes more sense 'cause
Chronological.
as context. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth. I brought you your tea. What's going on?
Why is he the character that stuck around?
Well, I think
Is that
I
Edgeworth's
think that
resignation?
note means something. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna. I don't think no one cares about him.
Did he resign? Is he Batman now?
Thanks for coming to see me off. I can't believe I'm going to Europe. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Thank you so much for everything. I'm a little sad, but I'll be all right. Whenever I want to see Lana, all I have to do is open this book.
I don't have to do half as much voicing as you do in this part, because most of the characters that I've voiced were convicted of murder.
Open the book. There's a letter inside.
She's even more younger.
Oh, it's a cute picture.
Sisters.
That's pretty cute.
Hey!
Hey!
We did it!
We did it!
We did it! That was fun. The characters and like the core gameplay is kind of fun. There's just like, because it's a mystery, it's also translated, which can be its own issue. There's just some real leap of logic moments where like, what do you want from me?
Yeah, no, there's some giant like, what the fuck?
And then even when you get the answer, some of the cases just got so convoluted that the answers weren't very satisfying.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like, I don't really like the last two cases as much as the ones before that came before. Bring back the clock statues is basically the answer. No more blackout elevators. Go back to the clock statue trilogy. Let's do this.
Yeah, obviously that was the thing. That was what made it good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no clock statue. It's basically not even Phoenix
It's
Wright.
not even Phoenix Wright. That's
What are you gonna do next? Make a Star Wars movie with no lightsabers? That's the core identity, not the courtroom or like the spiky hair. It's the clock statues. That's the spice.
I'm glad I got to. I'm glad I got to play this game because, like I said, Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, well, it's context now.
Are you going back in time? Don't do that.
Did you purposely and illegally conceal this piece of cloth? I did not. Head away.
What'd you do? Keith, no! Keith, no!
Hold backspace to skip text. You can keep talking.
Are you doing something?
Yeah. I'm just gonna get back to the part where we broke Edward's heart.
Oh!
And I had to find the... I don't know how to do it on the controller, so I just hold backspace on the keyboard. This is what auto proceed looks like.
Wow, it's so much faster.
If you can prove your conduct was not in violation, then... it's this, right? Yeah. Take that, bitch!
Bitch?
Is it too distracting? You
Oh no, I was just thinking, sorry, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, he was like a fighting game character, and I only knew vaguely what his game was supposed to be about. So I knew him in a very different context than his actual game.
The only thing I knew about this game was objection.
Objection!
And that it's a court thing. I knew that these two characters duke it out in court trials, and that there's a lot of shipping. And you say objection.
See, I didn't know that there was a lot of shipping, but I could have imagined it instantly.
God, it's happening again.
You have to watch this again.
The art. A lot of the character art and the animations and the reveal. I love the fucking Undertale, like, you're about to win this boss fight animation so much.
No, I like watching them unravel.
Yeah.
You know,
I hate that character. I hate the marshals so much.
I do.
I don't like the cowboys. I don't like anything about those characters.
But because like I'll like go back and like, you know, read the comments sometimes on the videos we make. I keep getting recommended Phoenix Wright videos, and I can't look at them because there are a bunch of compilations of like people like losing their mind when they lose the court case, like their animation reveal.
There's so many spoilers.
like their villainy.
Oh, because you're technically, because it's counting as watching my videos.
Yeah.
So that's like, you want more Phoenix Wright, huh?
Yeah. So it's like the character reveal moment.
I hate that YouTube does that, where
Top
it's like
10.
You watch this game? Well, would you like to watch all this other stuff about that game? And it's like, oh. Because what happens is other shittier YouTubers spoil shit about the games in their thumbnails.
Yeah.
And so people will be like, oh, let's watch The Last of Us on Keith's channel. And then like as they're like 7 episodes in, and suddenly it's like, it's showing a bunch of spoilers for the game in the sidebar from other people's shittier videos that have shitty thumbnails that spoil everything. And it's like, cool. They didn't even seek out those videos, and the thumbnails just give away major parts of the game. It's like, thanks, YouTube, for being shitty and irresponsible. Fuck, this takes forever. Man, this game talks a lot.
Oh, really? How would you know that? Considering that these poor audience members had to listen to us talk for like fucking.
That's what they're here for, and if they're not, then they make poor life choices.
Well, I mean, even if
it's on the box.
I know,
like it's not a fucking like surprise. I tricked you into listening to us talk in a let's play.
Well, either way, I
have to be careful now. Let's make another save just in case.
Yeah, there you go.
5th slot.
I appreciate that anyone would do that. I think I probably dated people who've heard me talk less than these audience members now have. We're in a. Now you guys know me intimately.
Dated people that talk to me.
Yeah, that probably heard me talk less. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Most of your dates are probably not 100 hours long.
No. It definitely not that long.
You might be coming up on 200 hours across the playthroughs of video of you talking.
Well, we did a Death Stranding, and that was
Death Stranding and Pokemon were both like 70 episodes each. This one's 100-ish, and we did that horror game and that Katamari follow-up. And you've been on some like multi-hour like Andrew Wow podcasty episodes.
Jeez, Keith, I've known you a long ass time.
You've got footage.
For better or for worse.
My god, even in fast forward, there just really is a lot of dialogue. This isn't even the entire day. I was about to say it's not the entire case. This wasn't even the entirety of this third of the trial. This is my most recent save.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Just waiting for Edgy to show up so we can brute force this puzzle.
You have to save right before, though, because...
Yeah, I'm waiting for Edge to show up, and then I'll immediately stop.
I will admit, I think the answer wasn't particularly clear to me, so...
Yeah. Okay, so, save. Let's pay very close attention to this dialogue. Where was he hiding? I just came to say blah 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 blah.
No, wait. Tell him that you love him.
Maybe don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones that acted corruptly, not you.
Too late for me.
Too late for me.
No more chipper. I can't correct my mistakes. I'm crestfallen. Somebody please comfort me in my time of need. If only I had some sort of romantic interest who could comfort me in my time of need and all my self-doubt.
Wow, they reuse a lot of dialogue.
Remember that thing from 10 minutes ago? We gotta make sure, just in case.
Well, I mean, you could have gotten up and left.
Don't you understand?
Damon Gantt and your mentor, Manfred Karma, blah blah blah, were both the best, blah blah blah, came to fighting crime. But they both made the same mistakes.
Yeah, it's because you're doing it. You're not alone.
You weren't alone.
You got Mr. Wright to tell you all the answers because he's better at this than you.
See, no matter how good I think we are, I will always think that Edgeworth is cooler than us. So it's like, I don't...
Yeah.
He just comes off as so much cooler that I think even if we technically do more, I still think he, like, is carrying us in my head. Yes, right here. Okay.
No, neither Edgeworth or I would have been able to find on our own. An autopsy report. That'd be because we needed the coroner.
That is true. There was a third party involved in that.
Also, most evidence was made by a third party in the first place.
Keep going. Keep going.
Technically, this required a third party. This involved a lot of people.
I almost think
It might be the ID card record.
No. Well, it almost seems like something that you and I, or that not you and I, but like you and him worked on getting together. Like something that neither Edgeworth nor I would be able to find on our own because we worked together. I don't think it means like a third party. I think it means like.
Yeah, no, I was joking.
Oh.
I mean, it's something we cooperated to get. It's a symbol of our friendship.
The unstable jar is a symbol of our friendship because I consider you to be unstable. And there's blood on it.
Was it the fucking it was like a shamming joke, I think? That's like, it's one of the great ironies in the world, such as how women who own horses tend to be unstable.
That's a good bit. And kind of, it's been a consistent fact in my life, so.
Horse owners?
Horse owners, yeah. Everyone I know has been a little bit crazy. Don't get me wrong. Probably super normal somewhere. Someone out there is really normal who has a horse. If you're that person, let me know. But I've not met one yet.
This is the one. This is literally 2 pieces of paper that were separated. That two of us got separately and then brought together.
Why didn't we?
And he had one of them, and we had the other. Yeah.
That's the picture I drew.
The picture that didn't make sense, and that vase never really mattered.
I definitely just drew the blue badger. I basically invented it.
Why did we care that the vase was in this drawing again? We had to prove it.
I know!
And I can't really remember why.
That's what I'm mad about, Keith, is that she drew the frame of the window. She drew it in the corner. She drew the whole window, and then she drew that thing in the middle, which made me think that it was being thrown at them.
Yeah, and she drew it in a really weird angle.
Because it's like upside down, so she's seeing it like being thrown through the air. You can't blame me for thinking that would be something.
Our counterattack began with this. You had one half of the evidence list and I had the other. Apart, we wouldn't have been able to completely restore Emma's picture.
The picture that made no fucking sense. That didn't just happen by chance, Mr. Edgeworth.
It's time for me to go.
Mr. Edgeworth?
If you'll excuse me.
Oh, so he gets sassy. He does the same thing?
Yeah.
No matter what. Oh, he's a tsundere. He's that way no matter what you do.
Edgeworth, what will you do now? Whatever you do, just remember. Yeah, it's just the same dialogue. We'll face my problem now. I wonder if they're setting up there being like a new prosecutor next game.
Aww. I kind of hope not. Or at least, there could be another prosecutor, but I want Edgeworth to be in it still. Like, as a person helping us, maybe. Or a person we consult. Aww.
Smile.
Aww.
Smile hug. Hug smile. Well, I guess that's it. That's Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Yes, it is.
We did it.
We
long last.
100%ed that.
And tomorrow we find out what the audience picked for the next game.